Steve Christie getting ready to kick off for the Buffalo Bills. We mentioned the wind, somewhat of a factor today, but it is a pleasant 45 degrees. The Indianapolis Colts coming off a disappointing 31-17 loss to the New York Jets last Sunday. They are 3-6, and the Buffalo Bills coming off the disappointing shutout loss 23-0. Back deep for the Colts. Number 83, Clarence Verdun, who has returned 5 kicks in his illustrious career, back for touchdowns, 2-time Pro Bowl selection. He's back deep with Rodney Culver, number 35. Christie's kick will fall out of bounds at the 5-yard line. So the Indianapolis Colts will begin 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Jeff George, the quarterback for Indianapolis, making his 5th straight start. It was Jack Trudeau who started the first 5 games of this season. And up front for Jeff George, the 2 big free agents, Kirk Loudermilk and Will Wolford, really bolstering that offensive line. The one change, Joe Stasiak in for Randy Dixon, who's out with a sprained ankle. Roosevelt Potts, the leading rusher in the AFC. Rookie rusher Sean Dawkins comes in as the 3rd wideout. To Anthony Johnson, who picks up some good yardage, close to first down yardage, up at about the 45-yard line, stopped by the free safety of Buffalo, Mark Kelso. The Buffalo Bills up front defensively. Phil Hansen gets his first start since the early portion of the season. He's been nursing a sore foot. Jeff Wright and Bruce Smith and Cornelius Bennett, also Marcus Patton, but the change, Keith Gogani is in for Mark Maddox, who's out with a neck stinger, and back Williams, Odoms, Jones, and Kelso. Odoms has 6 interceptions. The Bills have 18 total this season. 2nd down and short, and Anthony Johnson picks up the first down, and he's quickly into Bills territory all the way down to the 42. So the Colts, with 2 good gains by Anthony Johnson, that one good for 16, pick up a first down.
Well, one of the things
Williams made the stop.
Well, one of the things the Colts have got to do today is get that running game going. You'll see at the right of your screen a great block by Moss, the big right tackle, who's going to be playing against Phil Hansen today. Hooked him, creating a soft shoulder there for Johnson to easily get the first.
So it is a first down and 10 from the Buffalo Bills 42. And here's Anthony Johnson for the 3rd straight time, but this time he is stacked up by Cornelius Bennett, the 4-time Pro Bowler. And that will bring up 2nd down and 10.
Well, that's the kind of play that you want your defense to put you in, a 2nd and long. You want to get those guys up front. They're not that big, but extremely quick and tenacious. Now, Bennett knifing in from the outside makes that play, puts them in a long yardage situation, and their big problems thus far this year is 3rd down. They need to get them in a 3rd and long and get off the field and get that defensive trend reversed.
So call it a loss of a yard for Johnson, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 11. And they'll keep it on the ground again. And this is our first look at Roosevelt Potts, the 2nd-round draft pick out of Northeast Louisiana. We mentioned he leads all AFC rookie rushers. He just picked up only 23 yards last week, but he has had a 100-yard game already this season against the Dallas Cowboys. As you look at the numbers for Potts, 450 yards on the season, but he has just limped off the field.
Well, he had a heck of a collision with Cornelius Bennett and drug Bennett about 3 yards, but it looks like maybe Potts twisted his ankle on that play.
3rd down and 3, ball at the Bills 36. The Colts have been slow starters all season, so if they can get some points on the board early, that will look good for their cause. George to the air for the first time, and he's got the tight end Kerry Cash, and that'll be another Colt first down. This one all the way down to the 27-yard line before Darryl Talley ran him out of bounds.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the 27.
And our first look at the matchup of the day on the interior line, Will Wolford and Bruce Smith. Dan.
Well, you'll see Smith right there trying to take a quick inside move. Wolford told us yesterday, if I'm going to have any success, I've got to be passive and not jump at him. Stay at home, let him try to run over me, and then get my hands on him and get him stopped. Great job by the left tackle, Wolford.
Ed Toner into the offensive set for the Colts in the backfield. And Toner will get the carry. And Toner with some decent yardage. That is only his second career rushing attempt. His first one came against Cleveland earlier in the season, so Ed Toner in for Roosevelt Potts, picking up a rare carry.
Well, last week on Monday night, I think a lot of folks know that the Pittsburgh Steelers dominated the defense of the Buffalo Bills on the ground, running right at him. That last play, Wolford did a great job. You'll see him here, number 67, getting outside. A little slip block and getting the outside linebacker and getting the corner.
Second down and 4. The ball at the 21 of Buffalo. And this is Anthony Johnson. Nowhere to go on the left side. Reverses his field and picks up a couple of yards. He's inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line. Should be just short of the first down. Cornelius Bennett and Mark Kelso wrapped him up.
Well, I think this is the kind of game plan that you could expect from the Indianapolis Colts. They know that they have got to be able to control the ball on the ground today. The winds are going to be a factor. If they can run right at the Buffalo Bills, that is their weakness.
It has been somewhat of a weakness for Marv Levy's defense. The Bills ranked 23rd in the NFL in rushing yards allowed, and you can see what they've been giving up on third down, the highest percentage of conversion for opponents in the NFL. This is third down and short, and this is Rodney Culver knifing through for the first down. The second-year player out of Notre Dame, the short yardage man, Culver picks up the first down, and the Colts off and running here in their first offensive series.
Well, again, I think that is the second or third time on third down the Colts have converted. And, you know, for the Bills defense to rank 28th in the league on third down conversions against them, I cannot believe that. They've got too many big-name players that are supposed to make plays on third down. They're just not making the plays.
First and 10, ball on the 12-yard line. Opening moments of this one, Indianapolis driving from its own 35. This is Anthony Johnson bullying his way inside the 10. Keith Goganius made the stop, and we mentioned that the Bills missing one of their inside linebackers, Mark Maddox, inactive for today's game with an X-stinger, so the second-year player out of Penn State, Goganius, picking up his first NFL start.
Well, they're very happy with the fact that the young linebackers, Patton and Maddox, have played so well. Last week, Marcus Patton had a great day, 11 tackles and a sack. He's going to be joined by Goganius, second-year player.
Well, you're looking at a rare opportunity. They have not scored an offensive touchdown this season in the first quarter. Second and 7. And the ball broken up in the end zone, intended for Jesse Hester. James Williams, the left quarterback for Buffalo, broke it up. And that will bring up third down and 7, the ball at the 9.
But in talking with the Indianapolis folks yesterday, they said, you know, it seems like we can move the ball early, and then for some reason, we just cannot score a touchdown in the first quarter. Here, George has a pretty good look. All the defenders got their hands on it. It looks like the receiver just lost the ball coming across the line.
3 wideouts in for Indianapolis. Sean Dawkins to the near side, the rookie out of Cal on 3rd and 7. And Jeff George doesn't like what he sees and calls a timeout. So with 9:56 left in the first quarter, Indianapolis not having good luck at Rich Stadium over the years, but they are threatening early.
Anti-lock brakes. It's like this little computer keeps your brakes from locking up.
And it helps you to maintain control.
All-wheel drive is if the back wheels are spinning, then the torque or the power goes to the front wheels.
To give you more traction on taking off.
The airbag, upon impact, pops out like a balloon.
Bang!
Whoosh, whoosh, and poof. All these safety features come standard on every Chevy Astro all-wheel drive van for all the best reasons.
What's he doing? Better humor him.
Okay, I'm here to show you the new Panasonic Palmcorder camcorder with digital image stabilizer.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
It helps hold the picture steady even when your hand shakes this much. And Palmcorder tapes can play in any VHS recorder. So why buy a camcorder whose tapes can't play in your VCR?
I don't know.
The choice is obvious. The Panasonic Palmcorder. Its tapes will play in your VCR.
You want to know the secret to choosing a motor oil? You wait till the sun goes down. You take a ride to your local garage and then get a real close look at what the mechanic puts into his own car. Fact is, more top mechanics in America choose Valvoline over any other brand. Valvoline can help keep cars on the road for 100, 200, 300,000 miles and more. So before you buy a motor oil for your car, know the one more top mechanics put into theirs. People who know use Valvoline.
Back at Rich Stadium, the Indianapolis Colts and the Buffalo Bills scoreless, but the Colts driving deep inside of Buffalo's territory. The ball at the 9-yard line, 3rd down and 7. And the Bills were really physically outmanned in the Monday night game. And Walt Corey, his defensive squad right now, getting pushed around early in this game by the Colts.
Well, look for George to look for Langhorn. It's his favorite receiver, his go-to guy on 3rd.
George to the air, and he was looking for Reggie Langhorn. Incomplete. So that will bring up 4th down and 7, and the Bills hold the Colts in a rare 3rd down conversion. They do hold him, and Dean Biasucci comes in to attempt the field goal for Indianapolis.
Well, Jeff George was out of camp for 36 days this year, and these are the kind of patterns that you really have a chance to work on and fine-tune in training camp. I don't think the play had much of a chance at all, Dan. The timing was off, and the ball wasn't thrown to the corner.
Dean Biasucci, 16 of 19 on field goal attempts this season. This will be a short chip shot, about a 26-yard attempt, and it is up, and it is good.
Indianapolis 3.
So the Colts strike first. 9:48 left in the first. They lead it 3-0.
Yeah, no,
After all these years, Watson, the trail is decidedly cold.
But Holmes, it's quite warm in here.
All these years.
Curiously cozy.
No, fiendishly clever. Observe, Watson. Warm house, many years. It must be...
Lennox.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
For home heating, for cooking, for hot water, use clean natural gas. America's best energy value.
The new Geo Prism has asphalt laminates, foam blocks, and hydraulic engine mounts. They do more than make Prism a very quiet car. They help keep the sounds you don't want out and the sounds you do want in. So before you buy your next car, get to know the new Geo Prism, because what you hear in your car should be up to you.
Hurry to McDonald's Holiday Film Festival, featuring the classic Charlotte's Web, unbelievably priced at just $5.99 when you buy any large sandwich. Or get the hit Ghost.
Yes!
Or The Addams Family.
Showtime!
Or Wayne's World. Just $5.99 each when you buy any large sandwich.
No way.
You can see these new movies at theaters and own the originals. But hurry, because these values will be gone in a flash. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Geo, inviting you to get to know the newest Geo Prism, only at your Chevrolet Geo dealers. By Valvoline Motor Oil, people who know use Valvoline. By Black & Decker, the source of powerful gift ideas. And by the 25th Anniversary Diamond, for a brilliant celebration of your loving marriage.
Back at Rich Stadium, Dan Hicks with Dan Hampton. The Indianapolis Colts with a 3-0 lead as you see Jim Kelly getting ready to take his first offensive series. Kelly involved in the first shutout of his pro career on Monday night. 156 games, and that includes 2 years in the USFL with the Houston Gamblers.
I think he was doing a Super Dave Osborne imitation. I mean, he got beat around pretty good. A bad shoulder, he had a concussion. But if you know anything about Jim Kelly, this guy will bounce back.
He bounced back all right, and will play today with just one practice. He just practiced on Friday for the first time. The Colts scoring drive, 11 plays, 56 yards, 5 minutes and 12 seconds. Just one pass in that drive as Indianapolis really pushed the Bills back defensively. As Dean Biasucci gets ready to kick off back deep for the Bills. Russell Copeland and Don Beebe, who is back returning kicks. And this is Beebe, who steps up at the 16. Across the 30.
Don Beebe returns
before he's knocked down at the 31 by Stephen Grant.
Return.
That's one thing we're going to see today is Don Beebe will be returning the kickoffs and punts. The television star here in town.
So Jim Kelly makes his 25th straight start. And up front, Jim Richer, the 13-year veteran, along with Kent Hull, the 8th year out of Mississippi State. And the receivers for him, Andre Reed and Don Beebe. Nate Turner gets the start for Carwell Gardner, who is out with a hamstring. And this is Thurman Thomas with an excellent gain in his first carry of the game across the 35.
One thing we'll be watching closely today is the tempo at which Jim Kelly will get his offensive alignment deployed. Now, they have two phases. It's almost like two gears, Dan. One is a hurry-up, and one is like a 2-minute drill. This is just where he gets on the line, calls the play, and then fires.
Gain of 6 for Thurman Thomas, and this is Thurman Thomas again, close to the 40-yard line. A gain of about 2. John Hand made the stop.
A gain of 2.
And the Colts defensively, we mentioned a decimated front line. Skip McClendon moves from left end to left tackle. Willis Pegues gets the left end start. Sam Clance, left tackle to right tackle for Clancy. Tony Siragusa is out. In the secondary, Ambrose, Daniel Baylor, and Jason Belzer, who is the second leading tackler on this Colts defensive unit. Third down and short, call it 1 for the Bills as flags fly in from all directions. And maybe the left tackle for the Bills, John Fina, moved prematurely.
It'll be kind of interesting to watch both left tackles today.
Both starts. Number 70, offense. Prior to the snap, 5-yard penalty, third down.
And that is really a rare mental breakdown for John Fina, the former #1 draft pick out of Arizona in his second year. He still doesn't have a holding penalty this year, but he moved prematurely there.
Well, he's replacing Wolford. Now, you know Wolford's excited about this game. Well, maybe the second most excited guy about today is the one that has to replace Wolford, and that's Fina.
Third down at 6. Kelly from the shotgun and to the air for the first time. And he's got his tight end, Pete Metzelaars, close to first down yardage across the 40.
Ray Buchanan making the stop.
So Pete Metzelaars in his 12th year out of Wabash, and he's been getting the bulk of the receptions for the Bills tight ends as Pete McKellar has been recovering from off-season knee surgery.
Well, that's Metzelaars' 30th catch of the year, and he has normally been just a blocking tight end. This year they're trying to get him more involved in that short yardage third down situation.
Well, on 4th and about a yard, the Bills in punt formation, Chris Moore. And back to receive is Clarence Verdun. He stands at his own 13. High hanging punt for Moore. Verdun comes up to the 17, and he'll get a chance for a return, but he'll get nowhere as Steve Tasker, the special team ace for Buffalo, upended it. So the Bills with a 41-yard punt from Moore, and Indianapolis will begin again from the 22.
Like a rock. Here's the Chevy S-Series in color. Here it is in black and white. The new Chevy S-Series. Everything else is history.
The problem with cotton pants is they come out of the dryer with all these wrinkles. But hey, Hager wrinkle-free cottons are 100% cotton. They come out of the dryer wrinkle-free. Really, really hot.
Oh, Hager wrinkle-free cotton. 100% cotton, 0% wrinkles.
Some people get nasal congestion, but if you get sinus congestion, use a sinus spray like Sinex. Only Sinex has a decongestant plus Vicks Vapors, so you can feel your swollen passages open up. For sinus, think Sinex.
Wouldn't it be great? Yeah! If you invented a special potion that turned anybody into Rachel Hunter, the supermodel.
Ralph, would you take me for a walk?
Cool.
Ralph, we gotta work all weekend. All weekend.
And your special potion turned ordinary beer in a can into Keystone, Keystone Light, and Keystone Dry, specially lined for really smooth bottle beer taste.
Ralph, mind if I join your party?
Sure, Bert. Come on over. Wouldn't that be great?
Steve Tasker, the 4-time Pro Bowler, special teamer for the Buffalo Bills, shaken up on that play as he downed Clarence Verdun. As you take a look, watch 89 here with the tackle on Verdun.
Well, everybody knows this is a special team ace. Now, he's number 89 right there. Now, you'll see he's getting a little bit of a block in the back. It looks like his left leg collapsed right there at the contact.
Steve Tasker, the first true special team player to be voted the Pro Bowl MVP this past season. First down and 10 for the Colts at the 18. They lead it 3-0, 7:40 left in the first quarter. They keep it on the ground. This is Anthony Johnson, and he'll get 2 or 3 yards just across the 20-yard line. Brought down by Bruce Smith, who is back in Pro Bowl form for the Buffalo Bills, on top of his game.
A lot of folks say this may be his finest year because in years past, we all know that he was a great impact player, make a lot of plays, but maybe not play hard every single down. This year, I see this guy wanting to make every play, chasing away. I mean, he has put it together this year.
Gain of 5 for Johnson, 2nd down and 5. The Colts able to get some excellent rushing yards here early, and Johnson again bowling his way across the 25, close to first down yardage, brought down by Phil Hansen, the left end for Buffalo.
Well, when Roosevelt Potts, the big rookie back, went out, I wasn't sure if they would stay with this type of run at the defense kind of offense, but it looks like that this is what they want to do, and I think it's a great decision on Ted Marchibroda's part because their only chance is to run right at these guys and keep the Bill offense off the field.
The officials will come out to measure to see if Johnson picked up the first down. He already has 38 yards on 7 carries. As you can see, he is just short of the first down. But the way the Colts have been running the ball, that shouldn't be any problem picking that up. Their opening drive, which was 56 yards, included just 1 pass play for 9 yards, and there were 47 rushing yards in that first series drive for the touchdown for Ted Marchibroda's team.
You know, that's one of the things that I think.
Receiver, 74 is eligible.
That's one great asset that Marchibroda brings to the team. He doesn't get all balled up when they have a couple of bad games. Very cool emotionally. I think the team draws stability from it.
2 tight ends, Arbuckle and Cash, and Pulver and Toner in the backfield on 3rd down, less than a yard. And this is Pulver, and he picks up the first down.
Pulver carries for the Indianapolis first down.
Great blocking at the point of attack. Little knifing cutback play there.
Rodney Culver, the short yardage specialist for Indianapolis, had 3 touchdowns in 1 game against Miami earlier this season, 2 by the ground and 1 through the air. And he comes out of the ball game. Johnson in the backfield on 1st down and 10 from their own 32. This is Johnson again on the ground. And we mentioned earlier that the Buffalo Bills 23rd, Dan, in the NFL in rushing yards allowed. Last year, the Buffalo Bills ended up the NFL season 2nd in the NFL in rushing yards allowed. So this is a changed unit, at least from what they're doing this year as opposed to last year.
Well, it's almost as if they grew accustomed to rushing the passer against a team that was behind all the time. Now teams are running right at them and challenging them man-to-man.
2nd down and 6. And this is Johnson again. No secret to the Colts' offensive game plan. Jeff Wright and Darryl Talley made the stop for Buffalo, but the Colts just keep inching their way up the field and grinding out the clock. We're under 5 minutes left in the first quarter.
Well, Jeff Wright, the nose tackle, is a lot smaller of a guy than you would normally see in there. Normally, you got those big behemoths, the 300-pounders, anchoring it. Now, Jeff Wright is a terrific player, but he uses speed, quickness, technique. He gets a lot of batted balls. Very athletic, but if you run right at him, that's his weakness.
Another critical 3rd down conversion for the Buffalo defense. 3rd down and 3. Jeff George getting pressure from the opposite side, gets rid of it. But Jeff George was absolutely hammered by Bruce Smith.
I'm not sure, but I think Bruce Smith turned the corner against the double team at the top of your picture. You'll see him, 78, coming around the corner, runs by Wolford, gets a little help at the end, but still, those are the kind of plays that may make him the NFL Defensive Player of the Year for 93, Ben.
Well, this is Ron Stark to punt for the Colts. On 4th down and 3, Russell Copeland back deep for the Bills. Stark angling at Copeland's way, comes up running at the 19, and he'll get across the 25 to about the 26, and that's where Buffalo will begin its second offensive series. 41-yard punt, 6-yard return. Indianapolis up 3-0.
Yeah, everybody thinks they know Troy Aikman, huh? Yeah, well, I'll tell you about Troy Aikman. He's a cool customer. I mean, I remember this one time. He was surrounded by crazed linemen. I was the ref, and I was yelling at him, Troy, run, man, run! Ha, ha, ha! No, he stayed in that pocket, threw a perfect strike, and then, oh, man, Aikman took it! Like a man.
At the end of the day, more top mechanics in America choose one motor oil over any other brand to help keep their own cars running longer. Valvoline motor oil. People who know use Valvoline.
Just try Black & Decker's Power Driver with torque control. You'll notice one major difference, the clutch. The higher the setting, the more powerful it gets. Power Driver and Power Driver with torque control from Black & Decker.
You've waited for a Buick. You've waited for Buick quality at a low sticker price. You've waited for a car with Buick's reputation for safety. It seems you've waited for a century. Buick Century, with standard driver airbag, anti-lock brakes, power locks and windows, and more. All for $14,995. So don't wait any longer. See your Buick dealer today. This is the value of the century.
2 parents murdered. Could their sons have done it?
I can't take it anymore.
A movie the Chicago Sun-Times calls emotionally powerful, gripping. A powerfully intense 2 hours of drama, says the LA Daily News. Neil Patrick Harris and Roseanne's Johnny Galecki give outstanding and moving performances. A family torn apart. NBC Tonight. Parental discretion advised.
Well, we mentioned how physically beaten up the Bills were on Monday night. That's Steve Tasker nursing a bruised thigh. Suffered on the tackle of Clarence Verdun. His return to this game questionable. Kelly looking to go to the air on 1st down, and he is sacked. John Hand made the sack for Indianapolis, and this is a guy nursing a bad knee, and he makes the start today with just... I don't even think he practiced this week. He did not practice at all this week, John Hand.
Well, John Hand did not have one down of practice. He's playing a lot better at right defensive end. You'll see him getting upfield, swimming back inside and getting Kelly down. Now, that's his 5th sack of the year. He's really the only guy they had that could put on a pass rush.
Kelly the air on 2nd and long, gets rid of it to Thurman Thomas. Nice spin move across the 20, the 30, the 30. He's across midfield before he's finally run out of bounds at the 40-yard line of Indianapolis. John Baylor ran Thurman Thomas down, but not before a huge gain.
Seems like every time I come to Buffalo and watch this guy, I remind myself, hey, this guy looks a lot like Walter Payton. We're going to take a look here at Big John Hand getting up the field. Now, the one way to slow down the rush is dump the ball right over their head time after time. It'll wear them down. Now, Jeff Rod, one of their best tacklers, misses a square-up tackle on Thurman Thomas because of the pirouette move. Baryshnikov would envy that one.
37-yard gain for Thomas. He gets the call again as the Bills are deep inside the Colt territory. Quentin Coriat made the stop, and at the outset of this game, Thurman Thomas was 154 yards away from his 5th straight 1,000-yard season. And with more long gainers like that, he may have a chance at that today. Kelly pressured, hits it out to the right side, intended for Andre Reed, incomplete. And there's having, I would say, just a bit of a problem with the game clock here at Rich Stadium. And they've just announced that to the 80,000 here at Rich Stadium. Jerry Markwright, the referee.
Well, in some of the plotting offenses around the league, the game clock is a very big factor, but not in the Bills' offense. They run at their own tempo. Kelly keeping everyone almost at the line of scrimmage here.
Well, we know there's some time left in the first quarter. Indianapolis with a 3-0 lead as...
Either that or everyone on the field just made a quick game check. They didn't get much for their money if I was the team owner. You know, it's funny that the entire feel of the stadium is almost like they're waiting to see their team respond. You know, it was really not the kind of effort they're accustomed to here in Buffalo from the Bills on Monday night. And yeah, almost to a person, I'm looking at the crowd. That it's like they're sitting here saying, okay, do something. And
well, you mentioned the shutout on Monday night. The Bills shut out for the first time in almost 8 years. They had just 9 first downs, and it also ended their very successful Monday night winning streak of 6 straight games. So not only do they have a dismal performance, but they do it in front of a national TV audience. And they have the clock straightened out now. There is 2:26 left in the first quarter. On 3rd down and 8, Kelly to the air again. Just gets rid of it as Skip McClendon had the ankles of Jim Kelly, who was able to get rid of it, and that will bring up 4th down. He avoids the sack.
Well, a very inspired defensive front effort. You know, this is one area that I think that the Bills, it really felt like they had a great advantage. Their offensive line against a very battered defensive front. Thus far, great pressure by that defensive front for the Colts. Skip McClendon there grabbing Jim Kelly by the ankles. It could have been a grounding call.
Well, Steve Christie is in the game. This would be a 55-yard field goal. Remember, he hit the 4th longest field goal in the history of the NFL. In September, it was a 59-yarder. This one on its way. Looks like it has enough leg, but it is wide. So Christie trying his luck from 55 yards out. The Bills having confidence in him as he is 13 of 16 on field goal attempts, now 13 of 17. And now let's take a look at the natural gas quarterback efficiency ratings. Boomer Esiason of the New York Jets leading the way. And you see Jim Kelly, the 6th rated AFC quarterback, and Jeff George of Indianapolis, 77.5.
Well, it's only his 5th game back for the season. And I think he is the key. If he can continue to improve, this Colt offense may have a chance of carrying them to another couple of victories.
1st and 10, ball at the 37. George to pass on 1st down. Slings it across the middle, and Jesse Hester made the reception. So that means Jesse Hester has now made a reception in 56 straight games, and that continues a team record for the Colts. 20-yard gain for Jesse Hester.
One of the things you have to concede to the Bills is if you're going to do anything against the defense, Bruce Smith has to be stopped. Now, what you do, you get the guard to slide out and to help double team and beat him up a little bit, and that will take some of the gas out of his tank.
Big gain for Hester. 1st down and 10. The Colts once again in Bills territory at the 47. And this is Anthony Johnson. And he is stopped for no gain. Keith Goganius made the stop for Buffalo.
Well, they tried to trap Smith on that last play. Again, the best way to get a great pass rusher to quit rushing the passer is to run traps at him, misdirection plays, and get him worried. That last play, Schultz, the right guard, couldn't do much with Smith. He made a pile in the backfield and disrupted that.
Approaching the 1-minute mark of the first quarter. 2nd down and 10 from the 47 of the Bills. George across the middle, and he's got Hester again. A gain of about 3 or 4 to about the 45-yard line. Keith Goganius active early. Let's take our first break. Send you to our New York studios and Jim Lampley.
Where we take you to Cleveland midway through the first quarter. Browns already leading 3-0, trying to make it 10-0. Todd Philcox throws off the hands of Michael Jackson in the corner of the end zone into the hands of Marcus Robertson. He brings it back 70 yards to put Houston in scoring territory, trailing Cleveland 3-0. Back to Dan and Dan.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. 3rd down at 6 as George, close to a 1st down, is able to connect with Reggie Langhorne, the leading receiver in the AFC as far as yards are concerned. Reggie Langhorne picks up the 1st down for Indianapolis. And that brings us to the end of the first quarter. Indianapolis with a field goal, a 26-yarder from Dean Biasucci. They have a 3-0 lead on Buffalo.
Watch how fast Dristan nasal spray works.
What do you smell? I smelled something. I don't know what it was. Use Dristan nasal spray. Now smell. That's an orange. Dristan nasal spray worked fast.
Dristan nasal spray. Fast, effective relief.
Braun Flex Control. The first electric shaver with a pivoting head. It automatically adjusts to every contour of your face. Flex Control from Braun. Braun, the last word in shavers.
When I became my own boss, I also became my own employee. So now he tells me to make coffee, open the mail, make sure the copier's working. So I checked around and people said get a Canon personal copier. Canon has a unique single cartridge that contains the toner, developer, drum, and virtually all the moving parts. Change the cartridge, and it's like getting a new copier. Buying it was such a good idea, I took him to lunch.
Canon personal copiers. Call 1-800-4321-HOP.
The Steelers, the Broncos, the league's #1 ranked defense powers first-place Pittsburgh against John Elway and the NFL's second-best passing attack. It's a battle of playoff hopefuls and a mile-high matchup. Next on NBC.
Well, we've just been told that Buffalo Bills special teammate Steve Tasker is now out for the game with a bruised thigh.
That's sure to make his TV show. A little video of him on the sidelines.
Well, here are the Colts at the Bills' 36, first down and 10. Opening play of the second quarter. They lead at 3-0, and here's the pitch to Anthony Johnson. And he is inside the 35. He's Gogenius made the tackle once again for Buffalo, but Dan, here's a team, the Indianapolis Colts, with not much success at all here at Rich Stadium, and they are beating the Buffalo Bills up front, especially this offensive line.
Well, I think the stats will give you a great indication of what the offensive line of the Colts is doing. They are dominating the game at the line of scrimmage, putting them in third and short yardage situations, which they've been able to convert and keep the chains moving.
The possession time really indicating the Colts grinding it out against this Bills defense. Second down and 7. George to the air, and he's got Anthony Johnson, and he's inside the 20 down to the 19-yard line. Henry Jones, the Bills' strong safety, made the stop, but another first down for Indianapolis. Gain of 14. From the 19.
Well, they blitzed the inside linebacker, Marcus Patton, on that last play. George read it and threw it right where Patton came from, a quick slant. You'll see Patton getting some good pressure, but that is the catch-22. If you blitz and a quarterback is sharp enough, he'll make you pay for it.
Just inside the 20 for Jeff George. First down and 10. Johnson fighting his way inside the 15, down to the 14. Bruce Smith and Mark Kelso made the stop. But Dan, this is an Indianapolis Colts team that the last 2 games here in Buffalo has been outscored 80-6.
Well, I don't think any player can remember the last time they won here. And that is what is kind of amazing, is the fact that even though they've had such a bad run, losing 5 of 6, they still have great focus. They showed up, and they've stuck to the game plan, running the ball right at the Bills.
Rodney Culver is in on second down and 5. And he'll get the carry, turning the corner. And they spot him out of bounds just inside the 7-yard line. Cornelius Bennett ran him out of bounds.
Well, they're going to run over on the left side of the Bills' defense. Now, that matches up Moss, who's about 340 pounds, against Phil Hansen. Now, Phil Hansen is a very long, lean, pass-rushing defensive end.
Number 90 there at the left of your screen.
And his forte is getting up the field and knifing quick plays in the backfield. But if you can get a big body on him, you can get movement, and that's what they're banking on.
First down and goal. Ball at the 6. This is Johnson. He's inside the 5-yard line. Bennett and Phil Hansen made the stop. And the 80,000 plus here at Rich Stadium pretty much sitting on their hands in this one. It has been not much to cheer about at all in the early moments.
Again, it's like the team and the crowd is almost waiting for the real Buffalo Bills to reappear. And Hansen made a good play on the last run right at him. Now you'll see him flopping on the other side, looking for the pass.
Second down and goal. George to the air. That was intended for Reggie Langhorne, and an excellent defensive play by Nate Odoms, the 7th-year Buffalo Bill out of Wisconsin, former second-round pick. He leads this squad in interceptions with 6 and made a great play right there on Langhorne.
Well, I think the book is out. Langhorne likes to run this quick slant, and he knows it. Odoms knows it and reads it so quickly that he almost runs the pattern for him, getting a hand in there. Great coverage to Odoms.
Odoms coming off his first Pro Bowl last year. Critical play here, 3rd down and goal. Sean Dawkins, Langhorne, and Hester in, and the 3 wideout set. George looking to his right. It was intended for Jesse Hester, but George simply threw that one out of bounds. Hester was well covered by James Williams.
It was incredible how fast Bruce Smith got off the ball. I thought he was offside, so there's no flags. It was unbelievable. Watch here, 78 on the left. Watch him pull off at the time. That is incredible. That is such great anticipation. He ought to be a stockbroker one day. You know that? When he gets through, if he can anticipate the market, he can make a killing.
Well, the Colts not able to get the touchdown, but here is Dean Biasucci to attempt his 2nd field goal of the game. He already has a 26-yarder. This will be a little chip shot 22-yarder, and Dean Biasucci adds to the early Indianapolis Colts lead. 11:59 left in the first half. 6-0 Colts.
People around Flat Rock, Michigan have a lot of reasons to be proud, one of which is building the Mazda 626. Because even with dual airbags and a V6 engine, it still costs less than a 4-cylinder Camry LE. 6 cylinders that cost less than 4? People in Flat Rock think that's a powerful argument for the 626. And so do we. Mazda, it just feels right.
American Express asks card members to make a difference in the fight against hunger. This is how much of a difference they've made so far. Help us raise up to $5 million. Use the American Express card to charge against hunger, now till December 31st.
Butch Haynes has a head start and a hostage.
Put the gun down, old-timer. Probably shoot the boy.
He's gonna need them both.
This happens to be a manhunt.
Kevin Costner, Clint Eastwood, A Perfect World. Rated PG-13. Starts November 24th everywhere.
The Schick ST with the one-push cleaning bar gives men a closer shave than the 3 leading disposables. And men say it delivers a safer shave than the 3 leading disposables. So, for a better overall shave than the 3 leading disposables, it's the ST from Schick. We're changing the face of shaving.
Surprise here at Rich Stadium in the early going. Indianapolis with a 6-0 lead over the Buffalo Bills. You look at Jeff George, Dan Hicks along with Dan Hampton. We talked to the Indianapolis Colt quarterback yesterday, and you just got the feeling that this was a Colt team that didn't expect much out of this game today.
Well, bad news travels fast in this league, and I think a lot of folks realize that if you run the ball right at the Bills, which the Colts have done, you can dominate them. Thus far, the Colts have rushed the ball for 86 compared to only 9 for Buffalo. Now, that will be the setting of the game. If the Colts can continue with this, the Bills are in big trouble.
We're also talking with Colt defensive coordinator Rick Venturi, who painted a bleak picture for his defensive line. Tony Siragusa is out of the lineup with an injured ankle. They've already lost Steve Entman, one of the premier pass rushers and defensive linemen in all of the NFL, so their top 2 defensive linemen are out.
But, you know, I cannot help but think back to, you know, I played for Lou Holtz at Arkansas, and he was great about saying, hey, you know, addition through subtraction. When things go bad, boy, everybody kind of rallies and gathers it up, sucks it up, and you see their defense playing hard.
You see Venturi there. Also, Sam Clancy, his right tackle today, lost 13 pounds in 2 days. He's been battling the flu. The stories just go on and on for the Colts defensive line as Don Beebe takes a knee for Buffalo, and the Bills will try to get something going offensively from their 20.
Yeah, when he told me he lost 13 pounds, I said, how can I catch this?
He practiced maybe one day. There's the time of possession. Remarkable. Indianapolis with the ball almost 14 minutes to the Bills 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
And again, that is without Roosevelt Potts, a guy that had 450 yards rushing for the Colts, their leading rusher. He's out.
Well, Kelly comes in and shows shotgun here. Bill Brooks, along with Beebe and Reed, the wideouts. And he'll toss it over the middle to Pete Metzelaars, the tight end, for a good game. Close to the first down, needed to get to the 30.
I'm a big believer in the rate of the pack is determined by the speed of the leader. Now, Jim Kelly, you'll see him here going straight to the shotgun. It's obviously going to try to pick up the tempo just a little bit here.
Gain of 9 for Metzelaars. Kelly this time has his man, Bill Brooks, and the former Colt makes the catch, and now Bill Brooks has completed the cycle. He has caught a pass against every team in the NFL. 12-yard gain for the former Colt. And Kelly and the Bills right up to the line of scrimmage again, this time the delay to Thurman Thomas. His 4th carry of the game is good for a couple. John Hand made the stop for the Colts. And we mentioned Bill Brooks, who now has a catch against every team in the NFL. He takes the place on this team of James Lofton, who wore number 80 here for the Buffalo Bills, and they miss Lofton in this lineup. Kelly to the air, has him across midfield, complete to Bill Brooks, and he's deep inside the Colt territory, all the way down to the 25. Ray Buchanan chased him down, but the former Colt picks up huge yardage.
Well, one thing that you cannot do is overcommit on the tackle here. You'll see Brooks do the little hitch. Overcommitting by Buchanan opens it up for just a scatter run here, and that is the thing that you can't let this offense do. They feed on success.
Gain of 31. Thurman Thomas gets it to the 20-yard line. Dwayne Bickett, who is... we were told just a few moments ago that his return to this game was questionable. He has a hyperextended knee, but he's able to bring Thurman Thomas down before he gained about 5.
Well, it's almost like in a boxing match. You see the guys punch, 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 and when they get one that really scores, you'll see a flurry, and that's what this offense wants to do. Throw a flurry at you.
Kelly, plenty of time, swings it out to Thurman Thomas.
Thurman Thomas.
And Ashley Ambrose made the stop for the Colts, the second-year man out of Mississippi Valley State.
Well, that time, the Colts were in a man-on-man defense. That's when you want to try to find somebody down the field. Ambrose had jumped on Thurman Thomas. Really never had a chance. Kelly dumped it to him. Have to go down the field when they get in those man-up situations.
So 3rd and 7 from the 22. Kelly across the middle. He's got Andre Reed. And Andre Reed, who we mentioned at the top of the show with that soft cast on his left wrist, coming from the broken bone he suffered against Pittsburgh on Monday night, had a similar injury a couple of years ago and wore the same cast, so it really hasn't had a huge effect on him.
No, I don't think it will. He's got great concentration, and in fact, younger guys, a lot of times something like that will make them concentrate more and improve their catching. Reed's great anyway.
So a 1st and 10 from the 12. Thurman Thomas with some good yardage inside the 10. Thurman Thomas coming off his lowest rushing total of the season. He was only able to gain 40 yards in the 23-0 whitewash loss to Pittsburgh on Monday. 4-time Pro Bowler, the NFL MVP in '91. 2nd down and 5 from the 7. And Kelly's pass intercepted by Ray Buchanan. So Jim Kelly, who set a club record last week for the most consecutive pass attempts without an interception, it was 65 as he came into the ball game.
I want to take it. Illegal motion, number 84, offense. Penalty decline, first down.
Illegal motion on Keith McKellar. But Jim Kelly's streak of consecutive pass attempts without an interception.
Well, you see, you can't hear. The ball was tipped, and it really fluttered. You have to smoke that one in there. It was tipped. It was a dead duck.
Your teeth aren't flat, are they? Of course not. If they were, a flat brush would be ideal. But since your teeth are shaped like this, we designed our brush like this. Introducing Crest Complete. Your dentist uses special instruments that get between teeth. Crest Complete gets between too, up to 37% farther than the leading flat bristle brush. So to help maintain a dentist clean at home, get new Crest Complete. Only Crest could make a brush this complete.
In Flat Rock, Michigan, they build the Mazda 626 so that even with its V6 engine, it still costs less than a 4-cylinder Camry LE. Around Flat Rock, they think that's a powerful argument for the 626. And so do we.
Today, Michael White is having a lunch meeting in Indonesia without even leaving town.
This is your life.
Barry Kaplan is keeping things moving at her office, even though she's going nowhere fast.
This is your world.
With everything from local to long distance to cellular, it's easy to see why Sprint is the choice of millions who need to be there now.
Be there now. Life won't wait. Be there now.
People around Flat Rock, Michigan feel more secure driving the Mazda 626. They make them themselves, so they put dual airbags in every one of theirs. And every one of yours, too.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Mazda. Mazda, it just feels right. By the American Express card, don't leave home without it. By the Schick ST Razor, we're changing the face of shaving. And by Sony, the official video electronics company of the NFL.
We have an intersection with the telephones.
Well, the Indianapolis Colts come up with a key interception.
They're taking their phones down.
It was Ray Buchanan, that's John Baylor. It was Ray Buchanan, number 34, who came up with a rare interception for the Colts, considering it is just their 7th interception of the year. That's last in the NFL.
It is, and of course, I think interceptions and pressure on the quarterback go hand in hand. That last time, not much pressure, but a deflected ball at the line of scrimmage. I think it was John Hand getting one of those big calls up.
The Bills have moved the ball effectively deep into Indianapolis Colts territory before the interception by the rookie out of Louisville. And so the Colts will begin deep in their own territory from their own 2-yard line.
You know, this is a cat and mouse game here. You know the Colts have ran the ball well, but guys like Bennett and Bruce Smith, they want a safety. It's going to be guys who want to rush the passer but need to stay and play the what's going to happen?
Loudest noise we've heard from the Rich Stadium crowd all afternoon. The Bills trail at 6-0, 7:54 left in the first half.
Look up.
Jeff George with a play action fake, and Henry Jones, the strong safety, picked up the safety.
Great call by Walt Corey, the defensive coordinator. Henry Jones, 20, coming off the right side. Watch from the right of your screen. Comes untouched. It was on an if call. If they pass, you come. If not, you force a run.
The Bills defense comes up big.
It seems the more time goes by, the fancier trucks get.
Just a bunch of chrome and snazzy stripes.
What the?
Phew, Chef.
No. So Mazda went and asked folks what a truck should be.
I need a real truck.
And learned one very important lesson.
You don't run through mud in ballet slippers.
Introducing the bigger.
It's bigger.
Meaner.
It's meaner.
All-new Mazda truck. The only import with a 4-liter V6 and one monster warranty.
You better tow my dinosaur.
The new Mazda truck.
I like my dinosaur. It's a good dinosaur.
Mazda. It just feels right.
It's time to review your insurance needs with MetLife. Get Met. It pays.
There is a sound you'll hear in the triangle below Canal Street. It's the sound of German being spoken by those who are moved by the art. In your town, America, and the world, Beck's, the #1 imported German beer.
Do you dream in color? In bottomless blues and screaming yellows? In sounds that shake you to the bottom of your heart? In images clear as crystal and brilliant as ice? In faraway worlds as close as your fingertips? These are what dreams and Sony Trinitron televisions are made of. Make one come true for you. It's your life. Isn't it worth a Sony?
Legendary Eddie Robinson leads his Grambling State Tigers against the Jaguars of Southern University, plus the Battle of the Bands, the Bayou Classic, next Saturday on NBC.
Well, there is Henry Jones, who just came up with a big play, the safety on Jeff George that puts the Bills on the scoreboard. Short kick by Dean Biasucci. This is Russell Copeland, who comes up and gets it back up close to the 45-yard line. So the free kick, Russell Copeland returns it, and the Bills will have excellent position. On Thanksgiving Day, make NFL Live a part of your holiday with Jim Lampley, Mike Ditka, O.J. Simpson, and Will McDonough direct from Dallas. As O.J. takes a look at Cowboys receiver Michael Irvin, then the NFL's winningest coach, Don Shula, leads the Dolphins into Dallas to match wits with Jimmy Johnson and the Cowboys. 3 Super Bowl victories between them, and it's all Thursday, Thanksgiving Day at 3:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 Pacific, with NFL Live followed by the Dolphins and the Cowboys. This is the give now to Thurman Thomas, and he is stopped short of the line of scrimmage. Dwayne Bickett dropping Thomas. And you mentioned the 2 gears that the Buffalo offense has, and they're now averaging 9 seconds between plays so far today. Second down and 11.
Okay, Kelly had called a play. He sees a possible blitz from the left. Calls audible, looks there.
Indeed, he did get the blitz, and he tried to get it away to Andre Reed. Ray Buchanan on the coverage. And there could be a holding call back at the line of scrimmage on the tight end, Pete Metzelaars.
And Metzelaars was the one responsible for the blitzing corner. You get a call in from Jerry Markbright.
Number 88. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Indeed, it was on Metzelaars, and that will push the Bills back in a second down and 20 situation, all the way back to the 34.
I really feel this offense is in a transforming kind of osmosis right now. In years past, they just dictated what they wanted to do, and that will be the defense. Now it's almost like they're trying to form up things and call certain plays against certain defenses, and I think they're falling into a trap and not being near as productive.
Well, more movement and more flags. Movement on the Colts defensive line. Willis Pegues came across, but we'll see what Jerry Markbright and his officials have to say after the powwow.
Encroachment foul, number 96, defense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Well, it was Pegues.
I saw Jim Kelly there. Markbright was walking it off against the offense. He said, hey, it's them. The guys in the white shirts, not us.
Second down and 15 from the 39. 6:59 left in the first half. The Bills trail it 6-2. Kelly to the air, and he's got Don Beebe. And it is very close to the first down as Don Beebe, a member of the Bills' concussion crew last week against Pittsburgh, took a huge hit in the Monday night game.
Well, I tell you what, you could line up an awful lot of Don Beebes across the front and still have a great football team.
74 is eligible.
They're coming in with the short yardage people, but Beebe is the guy that I think a lot of folks overlook. At that time, he had a huge cushion. Kelly realized it and threw the out, almost getting the first down on second.
Well, Jim Kelly calls for the timeout. And that stops the clock with 6:18 left in the first half. Indianapolis 6, the Bills 2.
Driver, do you have any Bud Light in your vehicle?
Yes.
And I am Mr. Gallywikich.
You mean Dr. Galakowicz?
Yes, I am. This is so cool.
First time in a limo? Doctor?
In a limo this small.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Behind every new Mazda truck is an unsurpassed 50,000-mile, 3-year basic warranty. And behind that, who knows?
As your engine revs higher, the oil forms a hydrodynamic wedge, protecting your engine parts. But as your oil's viscosity breaks down, so can the wedge. That's why Castrol GTX has unique viscosity improvers. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol, because if your viscosity breaks down, what's next? Castrol GTX. Now get a free officially licensed NFL team football when you buy a case of Castrol GTX.
You're looking at the most powerful import pickup ever built. The new 4-liter V6 Mazda truck. What all the beautiful people are driving this year.
The Steelers, the Broncos, the league's #1 ranked defense powers first-place Pittsburgh against John Elway and the NFL's second-best passing attack. It's a battle of playoff hopefuls and a mile-high matchup. Next on NBC.
Well, the bad news for the Bills fans, they trail the Colts 6-2 with 6:18 left in the first half. But in Miami, the New England Patriots with a 3-0 lead over the Miami Dolphins, who start the veteran 39-year-old Steve DeBerg today. Third down and short for the Bills. And they'll go to Thurman Thomas, and staying on his feet, may have picked up the first down, and he did. Excellent second effort, able to keep his balance. Thurman Thomas finally brought down by Michael Brandon.
That's one of the great things that Thurman Thomas brings. He has great ability outside in the perimeter, catching the ball, but a lot of people don't realize he is strong enough to get the third and short.
And here he is again. Breaking into the clear, into the secondary, inside the 20. Ray Buchanan finally wrestled Thurman Thomas down, and he reels off his second big gain of the game.
Well, here he is, coming up, making someone miss right in the hole. It looked like a linebacker, Harrod. But if there is only one negative, it's the fact you just can't quite run away from some of the guys.
And here he is again, down to the 10-yard line. So after the gain of 27, another big gain for Thurman Thomas.
And again, watch how quickly Kelly gets them back at the line of scrimmage. Get those flurries of punches going. They got down to about the 2 on the last drive. Threw an interception. Looks like they mean to score again.
Thomas with 58 yards already, pulling his way down to about the 6-yard line. It was second down and 2. So that will bring up first down and goal for Buffalo. The last time they got deep in Colt territory, Ray Buchanan made the interception to stop the drive. The clock running, less than 4:40 to go. Thurman Thomas inside the 5, down to the 1.
You know, coming into this game, the defense being so beat up, Vic Ruggieri told us, he said, I'm not sure I can line enough good bodies up to stop these guys all day. But you see the counter here. The left tackle, Fina, getting a good kick-out block there, almost getting Thomas into the end zone. You know, emotion is a certain short-term friend. What you need is a long-term companion like big, strong defensive linemen.
Thurman Thomas, the second leading rusher in the NFL, coming into this game behind Barry Sanders of Detroit. He's got 67 yards already. Needed 154 to reach the 1,000-yard mark for the 5th straight time. We'll take a break. 3:49 left. We'll be right back to Rich Stadium.
After all these years, Watson, the trail is decidedly cold.
But Holmes, it's quite warm in here.
All these years.
Curiously cozy.
No. Fiendishly clever. Observe, Watson. Warm house, many years. It must be...
Lennox.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
For home heating, for cooking, for hot water, use clean, natural gas. America's best energy value.
Ted Marcher-Broda, the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, with a 6-2 lead over the Buffalo Bills. And Dan, he was another Colt we had a chance to visit with yesterday. Didn't paint a great picture of his team, but always the optimist as you look at the timeouts remaining.
Well, when you have as many injuries as you do, if you're the defensive coordinator, Vic Venturi, he said you just got to have faith. And I think that's the only thing that's going to keep the Bills from scoring here is faith, because they're very depleted on the front.
2nd and goal. Thomas looking to turn the corner. And he is stopped short. Eugene Daniel, the right cornerback for Indianapolis, stopped him. And Scott Radicek also in there for the Indianapolis defense, as mentioned, depleted by injuries.
Well, some of that faith I talked about came in the form of great pursuit. Radicek, the veteran inside linebacker, did a great job stringing that out, getting Thomas down.
All right, Kenneth Davis is in the backfield along with Nate Turner. And this is Kenneth Davis, and he is stopped short. Pegues among a host of Colts.
I don't think there's any question that they have to go for it, for nothing more than just self-respect. Being shut out on a Monday night and then coming in here expecting to dominate the Colts with the depleted defense and not being able to get on the board with almost 2 minutes and 48 seconds left, they've got to get this for self-confidence.
And they will go for it. Davis and Turner in the backfield. 4th and goal. Diving over the top is Kenneth Davis for the touchdown.
Great surge by the center and the 2 guards. Litzner and Davis, the guards, and Ken Hall, the all-pro center. Watch the surge in the center of your screen. Cave out, cave in. It was a valiant stand by the Colts, but just not enough beef.
And now Steve Christie to tack on the extra point. So this time the Buffalo Bills make good on an impressive drive. It does not end in an interception. And it ends in a 1-yard touchdown run by Kenneth Davis, his 2nd touchdown of the season. And now Rick Venturi has to rally the Indianapolis Colts defense once again.
Well, I think all you can ask for from this defense today is to play hard, and it's obvious they are playing their guts out, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, coming up next on most of these NBC stations, Game 2 of our NFL doubleheader. Most of you will see the Pittsburgh Steelers collide with the Denver Broncos, and then some of you will see the Raiders take on the San Diego Chargers. You can check your local listings for the game and time in your area. 2:35 left in the first half here at Rich Stadium.
I think that was a very important drive by Kelly and the offense. You know, it seems like the entire season they've been hanging on the defense. The defense got the ball back for them in good field position there after the safety. And I think it was very important, again, for Kelly to get his offense on track and get into the end zone.
They lead it 9-6 after the 10-play drive, which totaled 55 yards in 5 minutes and 15 seconds. Kenneth Davis picked up the score.
Well, Dan, they'd only scored 1 TD in the last 9 quarters. The best way to get confidence is to do something right.
Steve Christie's kick. And this is Clarence Verdun with a chance. And he's always exciting to watch. He gets run down from behind, fumbled the football, and the Bills indicate they have it. We have not received an indication yet from the officials, and now it is Bills football.
Clarence Verdun is a very exciting player. Unfortunately, he excites the other team an awful lot, too. Here you'll see a great strip from behind. by number 52, Harvey Richard.
Richard Harvey, in his 4th year out of Tulane, comes up with a big hit on Clarence Verdun. And now the Bills, who are fresh off a huge scoring drive, have a chance to punch another one in. They have the football at the Indianapolis 21. We'll make that the 26-yard line with 2:22 left, approaching the 2-minute warning. This is Thurman Thomas. He gets a couple along the left side. Sam Clancy, the 11-year veteran out of Pitt, made the stop.
Well, you can see that they're going back to a conventional offensive huddle. They want to go ahead and get it down inside 2 minutes and try to burn the clock, not giving them a chance to get it back.
And as we hit the 2-minute warning, Thurman Thomas indicating he wants some wrap on his left wrist. We'll try to update that injury when we come back. Meanwhile, the Bills lead it 9-6.
This Heisman Trophy moment is brought to you by Wendy's, the best hamburgers in the business. Ty Detmer was the first of Brigham Young University's great quarterbacks to win the Heisman Trophy. The most prolific passer in NCAA history, Detmer leaped into the national spotlight as a junior. Detmer's 1990 brilliance saw him set 31 NCAA records, and his amazing season was capped by his Heisman Trophy moment.
So, Dave, what's happening at Wendy's?
We're making our new Big Bacon Classic.
Really?
I didn't know that. It's a whole quarter-pound of fresh beef, cheese, and lots of toppings.
How many?
3 big strips of bacon.
How many?
The new Big Bacon Classic with an order of Biggie fries and a big icy drink. You better come hungry.
Who's ready for dessert? Oh, no, thank you.
It's good.
Wendy's, another thing to love about the holidays.
Nobody's eating anything.
I wonder why.
The problem with cotton pants is they come out of the dryer with all these wrinkles. But hey, Hager wrinkle-free cottons are 100% cotton. They come out of the dryer wrinkle-free. And really, really hot.
Oh, Hager wrinkle-free cotton. 100% cotton, 0% wrinkles. When regular drills hold you back, send in the Ranger cordless drill from Black & Decker. It goes anywhere to handle all the tough jobs. No strings attached. The Ranger cordless drill, a powerful gift idea from Black & Decker.
We're at the 2-minute warning of the first half at Rich Stadium. The Bills over the Colts 9-6 just a moment ago while we were away. Thurman Thomas, the Bills running back, getting some extra medical attention on his left wrist. And Thomas on pace for his highest rushing single game total of the season. Already has 70 yards. His highest rushing total, 129 yards versus the Washington Redskins earlier this season. Second down, Kelly to the air, and he got Bill Brooks for the touchdown. Touchdown pass from Jim Kelly to the former Colt, Bill Brooks.
They made it look kind of easy on that last play. Brooks working against Eugene Daniel, the right cornerback, just ran a little out pattern. Kelly throwing the ball perfectly.
And Steve Christie, another point after attempt for him. Tacks it on. Another 7 for Buffalo, and they have bolted out in a hurry to a 16-6 lead. 16 unanswered points.
Mentioned earlier about how Brooks has now caught a pass against every NFL team. Maybe this one is more satisfying than the first one, a touchdown against his former team, the Indianapolis Colts.
Bill Brooks spent 7 years with the Indianapolis Colts before signing as an unrestricted free agent. The second leading receiver in Colts history, trailing only Raymond Berry.
Well, Dan, I really feel like...
Coming up at halftime, the NFL Live Halftime Domino's Pizza Report. Pittsburgh and Denver Bronco, a preview of that game, as well as all the highlights of this Sunday in the NFL. Jim Lampley and Mike Ditka in our New York studios. The scoring drive for the Buffalo Bills, just 2 plays, a total of 26 yards. It took all of 40 seconds before Kelly hooked up with Brooks for the touchdown.
Well, that's the kind of thing that James Lofton used to give this team. 2 great scoring threats on the outside.
So 1:55 left in the first half. It looked very dismal for the Bills in the outset of this one. They trailed at 6-0, but 16 unanswered points later, they had the 16-6 lead. Christie to kick off. Awaiting is Verdun and Holder. And Clarence Verdun driven back to the goal line. He'll bring it out. And Verdun, an excellent kickoff return, is across the 25. He fumbled his last kickoff return. Matt Darby and Kurt Schultz on the stop, and this is another chance for Jeff George to get things cranked up for the Indianapolis offense.
Well, thus far in the game, he had an awful lot of success running the ball, converting on 3rd down, but when the other team scores that many points in a hurry, you've got to answer the call.
George's pass complete to Jesse Hester. He's run out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. Darryl Talley and Nate Odoms on the stop for Buffalo.
9-yard gain will be 2nd and 1.
Well, Jeff George, you mentioned at the top of the show, Dan Hampton, that it's just taken a little while for this offense to get in sync. Jeff George had the 36-day holdout, just his 5th game as the starter for the Colts, and with the new offensive line developing as well, it's taken a while for the Colts to get in full sync. 2nd down and 1. George, plenty of time in the pocket, looking downfield, and his pass intended for the rookie out of Cal, Sean Dawkins. Nate Odoms on the coverage for the Bills. But Sean Dawkins is a wide receiver for Ted Marchibroda, and he thinks that Dawkins, it'll take some time before he finally gets fully into this Colt offense, but they like him.
Well, more than just figuring out the offense, it's maturing and doing the things in practice that guarantees you playing well on Sunday. He's had an awful lot of drop passes, and it's hard to get confidence throwing the ball at a guy that just doesn't catch it all the time.
He had 3 drop passes against Washington earlier this season. 3rd down and short. And George's pass, incomplete, intended for Jesse Hester. He did not have control of it, and that will bring up 4th down in the punting unit for the Colts.
But one great thing that Jeff George can hang his hat on this year is a lot better pass protection. And we talked about Walford. Now the center, Kurt Loudermilk, doing a good job on Jeff Wright. It wasn't due to the protection breakdown that they didn't convert that one.
So this is Ron Stark with his 2nd punt of the day. Russell Copeland for Buffalo from the 20. And he'll go down at the 27-yard line. So with a minute 23 left in the first half, it'll be interesting to see what Buffalo does. Maybe they'll hurry up offense to try to put some more points on the board before they go into the locker room.
Well, I think if you're struggling offensively, you go ahead and kick somebody when you got them down. And you know, the Colts are beat up. I think you try to put them away right here.
Marv Levy in his 7th year as the Bills coach. And this is Jim Kelly swinging it out to Kenneth Davis. And he gains about 3 or 4 yards. A flag on the play on the far side of the field.
Looks like he was run out of bounds and then hit a little bit late. It's obvious by throwing the dump pass and getting out of bounds.
The face mask foul, 5-yard penalty on number 36 on the tackle. 5 yards added on to the end of the play.
That was John Baylor, the strong safety, called for the face mask.
They've got to feel very frustrated on defense. They played pretty well, and all of a sudden, it's almost like their team has walked off a cliff. That was an inadvertent face mask foul. That's what resulted in only a 5-yard penalty. But still, you can see the Bills trying to get out of bounds, saving the clock for another play or two.
First down and 2. And the delay to Davis. Nothing on the left side. Try to right side. First down yardage. Runs out of bounds at the 40-yard line. The clock stops with 1:07.
Kelly does his Foster Brooks impersonation, falling in front of a truck there, helping spring Kenneth Davis to get back to the right. Now, I'm not really sure that they're trying to get out of bounds. It's almost like they're just trying to keep from getting hit here. I don't know if they really have the intent of going down and scoring.
First and 10 for the Bills. And the officials have stopped play. Flags thrown from both directions on the line of scrimmage.
False start on number 67. Prior to any snap, it was a false snap. Move the football. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So Kent Hull, the 8th-year veteran, the co-captain, 3-time Pro Bowler, with the penalty there.
That's an oxymoron. How can he be offsides, right? Well, what happens is he'll bob his head or jerk without snapping the ball.
Kent Hull didn't even play until the end of September because of a knee scope that ended 119 straight starts for him. He had started every game for 7 straight years. First down and 15 for the Bills. Kelly across the middle, and it was Don Beebe who made the reception and took another punishing hit. And he is down. Quentin Coriat made the hit on Don Beebe. And if you remember Monday night, Don Beebe took another tremendous hit. He called that hit the most severe in his career. He had a concussion because of it. And that one did not look good at all as you look at Quentin Coriat, who provided the impact.
Well, that's the kind of impact they want from Quentin Coriat. Their second first-round draft pick last year. Now, Beebe knows going in the middle, you better buckle up. That time, I'd have to call that a fumble. Now, Don Beebe is still down. We don't know what his condition is. Probably another concussion, but that was a catch and a fumble.
It did appear that Beebe had possession of the ball. And he has been a part of many highlight reels. Just a couple of years ago, there was a playoff game when he was tipped upside down and nearly landed on his head, avoided any serious injury in that one.
Well, those deep slant patterns are the ones that you really have to gut check your receivers for. A lot of guys gets the ball and try to get out. This guy will go across the middle. That's no man's land, and that is what you're going to get. That's the kind of medicine that you get. And I don't know if Don Beebe should come back, even if he is okay. Now, he had a concussion last Monday night. I don't know if you should keep subjecting yourself to these kind of shots.
Don Beebe is up, and that is good news, but he will walk off to the sidelines to try to get his mind together after the blow by Coriat. Very close to a fumble.
Well, irregardless of whether it's a fumble or not, you know, I don't think he should come back, but there is a catch. It's in, tucked away. It's a fumble. Instant replay would overturn that in a moment. We don't have that now.
Well, the ball has been called incomplete, so the Bills will put it in play from their own 35, second down and 15, a minute 2 left in the first half. Kelly needs a bunch, goes over the middle, overshoots his receiver, Andre Reed, and Ray Buchanan was there for a possible interception. He wasn't able to hold on.
Well, that's a couple of gifts that a beat-up defense really doesn't count on, that they've just given back to Buffalo. A fumble that wasn't called their way, and then an interception that was dropped.
So third down and 15. Under a minute. Kelly just buying some time with the pump fake. He's run out of bounds by Dwayne Pickett. The Rich Stadium crowd not liking the way he was handled out of bounds. But...
Well, if there's one guy that I really think has to pull that defense together, and that's Dwayne Pickett. He got nicked up earlier in the game, but there he got a good rush, forcing Kelly out of the pocket. He's a guy that's got to be the ringleader and hold him together. Now, we're watching here. Well, I don't know. He had contact going out of bounds, Dan, but right at the end, it looks like he gave him a little shove into the spectators there. I think that's legal.
Chris Moore.
He ran 40 yards, so he gets to do a little extra.
Moore to punt. Verdun is back deep for Indianapolis. Excellent punt by Moore, driving Verdun back deep to the 14-yard line where he took a knee, and that is where Indianapolis will have it with 41 seconds left. Excellent punt by Chris Moore, 49 yards. No yards on the return for Verdun. The Domino's Pizza NFL halftime report coming up. Jim Lampley and Mike Ditka back in our New York studios for scores and highlights. Plus Bob Costas and Joe Gibbs with a preview of the Pittsburgh-Denver mile-high clash today.
It's going to be a great contest. Look for Pittsburgh to shock the Broncos out there. I think they're on a roll.
Bruce Smith was across the line of scrimmage when the ball was snapped. I think Bruce was just anticipating just a tad too much on that.
Looks like he had some quarters fall out of his pocket and went after
Number 78, defense, unabated toward the quarterback. No snap, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Unabated toward the quarterback. I like Jerry Markwright.
He's relaxed there, and all of a sudden, looks like he may have lost his Rolex or something. He says, whoa, wait a minute, there it is. Look out, guy, let me get that thing.
There's getting in the backfield, and then there's getting in the backfield about 4 seconds before it's snapped. 41 seconds left in the first half. The Colts keep it on the ground. This is Johnson. And he gets some pretty good yardage across the 25. Clock running now, about 30 seconds left. Cornelius Bennett made the stop for the Bills.
Well, this is Doug get back in the locker room and regroup for the Colts. They played well early and let it slide away at the end of the second.
George runs it out of bounds. Stops the clock at 13, and if the Colts are just trying to run it out, you would expect a slide from Jeff George on the right side, if anything, to keep the clock running.
Well, that may be in the day that he missed in training camp, where they talk about the quarterback sliding with 13 seconds left.
Well, you talked about missing training camp. Jeff George, $144,000 it cost him.
Well, I think this kid has great talent, super talent, but I don't know if he's made the commitment to get better every year. They went out and got a bunch of guys to help him. They expected him to be in camp. Didn't work out.
Well, the handoff was to Anthony Johnson, who did a nice juggling act. He was able to hang on as we approach the end of the first half at Rich Stadium in Buffalo. A very slow start for the Buffalo Bills, but they run off 16 unanswered points after trailing 6-0. So at halftime, it is the three-time defending AFC champion Bills leading the Colts 16-6. Back after these messages from your local station.
I'm Dwayne Bickett. A few years ago, I joined a prestigious list of my Colts teammates to bring you the United Way stories of how United Way works to help people. It all began in 1974, and over the past 20 years, you have seen countless agencies and programs with the Colts players. Back in 1989, Jim Erson and I brought you the story of the Noble House, a center to help retarded citizens in our community.
When you put your mind as well as your heart into caring, you've got to ask the question, how can I help? And the answer is here, through this United Way program.
That's when I met Alan, a child with the problem of retardation. Now I'd like you to meet Alan today. He's made great progress because people in Indianapolis cared and gave to the United Way. Now he's in the public school system. He'd like to say thank you.
Thank you.
When we say you're helping people who need your help the most, we mean a boy like Alan. This is the best proof I know of that your contribution to the United Way is being spent wisely. Now more than ever, the United Way, helping where help is needed most.
This message furnished by the National Football League. Tonight on Sequest, he's called the Regulator.
Very cool. You know this guy's reputation?
He takes whatever he wants.
What are you doing on my boat?
Now he's kidnapped Darwin.
Back off!
Sequest at 8/7 Central, NBC tonight.
Wednesday is TV's greatest night of comedy. TV history's top comics together for the first time ever. The first annual Comedy Hall of Fame, NBC, Wednesday.
Do we agree? We agree. When Laura and Judy and I wanted to expand our business, our bank said our husbands had to co-sign. You can't be serious. Then I talked to Ken, our accountant, and he suggested KeyBank because they're very helpful to small businesses.
I told them they didn't need a loan, they needed a line of credit.
We got our money, and we got it on our own. Donna, I think of you as a silent partner in our business. How can I thank you?
You just did.
KeyBank really is America's neighborhood bank.
Channel 2 puts Mark Maddox.
Wow, this is unbelievable.
Together with kids on Tuesday's Child.
It's just someone who cares to take the time out and come and associate with them.
Mark Maddox of the Buffalo Bills.
They get a message out of everything. And those kids get that in their mind and they say, hey, we can believe in ourselves because it shows that all people are just human beings.
Watch Tuesday's Child with Mark Maddox only on Channel 2 News at 6.
We're just out trying to help people in the community.
Victims of crime speak out. Watch the issue Tuesday on Channel 2 News at 11.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza, where you always get great pizza, plus something for nothing.
Good afternoon again. Welcome those of you who've been watching the Colts and the Bills. Let's get up to date on other events around the National Football League, starting in Cleveland, where the Oilers have a 14-10 lead in the second quarter of a game that has been a festival of turnovers. Cleveland fans missing Bernie Kosar to show their support. They're wearing Bernie masks and Cowboy jerseys. Kosar's replacement, Todd Philcock, struggled early under pressure here. He is intercepted as the ball goes off the hands of Michael Jackson in the end zone. No, he's not in Switzerland. Marcus Robertson grabs it, returns it 70 yards into Brown's territory. This drive would ultimately end, however, with a Warren Moon fumble as the Oilers were matching the Browns turnover for turnover. Later, with the score 3-0 Cleveland, the Oilers finally took the lead as Gary Brown ran it in from 11 yards out to make it 7-3. Houston would add to its lead on the next possession as Warren Moon hooked up with Curtis Duncan on a 4-yard TD pass. But Todd Philcox, whose second interception had set up that touchdown, finally got it going with a 13-yard throw to Eric Metcalf for the first Cleveland touchdown with Philcox at the helm this year. That narrowed it to 14-10. Maybe it'll give Philcox a little confidence.
Well, it should give him some confidence. One thing, Jimmy, he's got to quit turning the football over. I know it was a tough play in the end zone, but he's had interceptions last week, fumbles this week, interceptions. If he can stop turning it over, then they can have an effective offense. If he keeps turning it over, they're going nowhere.
Meanwhile, Mike, in the Georgia Dome, Bernie Kosar's Dallas Cowboys got one first down and possessed the ball less than 5 minutes in the first half. Emmitt Smith was carted off the field with what could be a deep thigh bruise, or maybe something worse, Mike. If it's a bad injury, it changes the whole season.
Well, it really does, because that offense they're running is a very basic offense. It's a simple offense. There's nothing that complicated about it. They cannot work that offense without Emmitt Smith. It showed in the first two games they played when they lost him without him. They lost the football games without Emmitt in there. They're not going to be an effective offense whether they get Aikman back or not, if Emmett's not in there. The running game they have opens up the passing game. Everything's run off a draw, delayed play, and they sets up all their play action passes. They got to get them back.
Right now, the effective offense is Atlanta's as they lead 13-0. The game you're watching finds the Colts trailing Buffalo 16-6 at halftime. We move forward to take a look at what's happening in the New England-Miami game, where the Parcells Pats are looking at an excellent opportunity for an upset after a first half they controlled. Pre-game festivities, Don Shula accepting an award from the Robbie family for win 325. Steve DeBerg starting for Miami with the enthusiastic support of the home crowd. On Miami's second drive, DeBerg looks as though he's going to get it going, delivering to Keith Jackson for a long pass, 36-yard reception. Jackson takes a big hit, the drive stalled, and the Pats took over from there. Things going New England's way. Here's an example. Bledsoe's pass to Marv Cook deflected, and Vincent Brisby makes the catch. Once again, it is 3-0 New England at halftime over Miami. Kansas City's gotten 2 Marcus Allen touchdowns. Allen picking up the slack in the absence of Joe Montana, who didn't dress today. The Chiefs lead the Bears 14-6 at halftime. The New York Jets have put together drives of 94 and 80 yards against the winless Bengals. It was Boomer Esiason going against his former team for the very first time. Jets wearing uniforms commemorating the 25th anniversary of Super Bowl III. First play from scrimmage, Klingler passes to Harold Green for 15 yards. Green, critical of Coach Dave Shula last Sunday, gets the call on the first play, and then on the second play, he rips off a 25-yard run, the longest Harold Green run of the season. That led to the Bengal field goal by Pelfrey that made it 3-0. But later the Jets got it in gear. The 94-yard drive is capped off by this Brad Baxter 5-yard touchdown run. Later there was an Esiason to Johnny Johnson pass of 54 yards that would set up a Johnson 6-yard scamper for the touchdown. Johnny Johnson with 130 yards rushing and receiving in the first half, and the Jets lead the Bengals 14-3. That Jet offense getting more consistent as the season goes on.
They are. They really work Johnson into the offense. Not only in the running game, he's a great runner. They got a good line. They're throwing the ball now. I think Boomer, the offense is pretty solid. I think the key is how well they play on the defensive side of the ball, and they look like they're playing pretty good on that side of the ball. I like the way they look for the rest of the run, really. They got a favorable schedule going through these next 4 or 5 games. They're going to be sitting there in good position.
Yeah, I was ready to discount them last week, and you're the one who said to me, no, Lamps, they have a very good football team. All right. Let's turn our attention to Milwaukee, where the Green Bay Packers have a 13-10 halftime lead over the Lions. The difference there, obviously, a Chris Jackie field goal just before the half. Coming up next, we'll preview the big late game in our doubleheader, Pittsburgh at Denver. That'll be coming up after these words from your local station.
It was the show embraced by every American family. Next Sunday, the legend lives again.
You're always welcome here.
Who says you can't go home again? The television event of the year, Bonanza the Return, coming to NBC next Sunday.
Tuesday with Joe Namath as his coach. Can Laura Kett score with ex-wife Donna Mills?
You look great.
Drop dead.
All new Laura Kett, NBC special guest Tuesday.
Miles and miles and places in between. Perfect first life, working for a dream. Got some history together, oh, it feels so right. From the heat of the day, just melts into my Jenny, for people like you. Jenny, for people like you.
The Legacy of John F. Kennedy in a special edition Monday on Channel 2 News.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza, where you always get great pizza, plus something for nothing.
Welcome back. This is a doubleheader day here on NBC. The late game that most of you will see has the Steelers visiting the Broncos, Pittsburgh with a 1-game lead over Houston and Cleveland in the AFC Central, Denver trailing KC by 2 games in the AFC West. The gentlemen, and we use the term advisedly, who will call the game at Mile High are Bob Costas and Joe Gibbs. Bob, a return to the football broadcast booth after a lengthy hiatus.
After a decade away from NFL play-by-play, kind of a reversal of roles for us here, Jim. I'm concerned about being a little rusty, but no concern right now for the Steelers atop the AFC Central at 6-3. Chuck Noll has them in position to make a move.
Chuck Noll has stepped down. Bill Cowher is the coach now at Pittsburgh.
Well, be it Noll or Cowher, it is always so tough to come to Mile High Stadium, take on Dan Reeves' Broncos. Very tough on their home field.
Sorry. Dan Reeves has gone to New York. Wade Phillips is now here in Denver.
Well, in any case, so great that the Redskins have a bye and you can dabble in broadcasting and join us here. All signs point to a memorable broadcast from Mile High, Jim.
Yeah, I think we're off to a flying start, Bob. And what do you think Otto Graham will be doing for the Browns today?
Well, you know, Paul Brown won't let him call his own plays. That's always irked Otto.
Indeed. On a serious note, Joe Gibbs, the Broncos have had a hex sign over other teams at home this year. Already that mystique has been dispelled a little bit.
2 losses at home. Tell you the truth, I still wouldn't bet on them or against them at any time in Denver Stadium. Pittsburgh's on a roll, but I think Denver's upset about that and mad right now at home.
Well, I think being mad's one thing, Joe. They got to start playing defense. They're not playing very well. They're giving up a lot of plays, over 20 yards in the passing game on defense. I think Pittsburgh's not going to change their game plan. They're going to go out and run the football at them, try to throw the ball to Eric Green and loosen up the defense a little bit. But again, Elway, you know, he's the magic man. If he's magic, it's going to be tough to beat him up there.
Well, I think he's off to one of his best starts. I think he loves a new offense. He's got a lot of confidence. And he's telling us, just yesterday, he has a lot more tools to work with now, and he feels like a lot more options in the passing game. And he's off to a great year.
Yeah, scoring hasn't been their problem. Only San Francisco has scored more points than Denver in the entire league. And all of their numbers, passing numbers over last year, they're all up offensively. But as you say, Mike, their porous defense has really done them in, and that's why they're 5-4.
All right, thanks very much, gentlemen. Mike Ditka. We turn our attention to Pittsburgh and Denver later on here. Elway 5-1 against Pittsburgh in his career.
Well, I don't think you can look at the past that much, really. I think today's game is a different game. I think the Pittsburgh team right now, Bill's done a great job with them. He's got them back focused. They're leading their division. And I think they're going to go out and they're going to run their game plan now. They're not going to have Foster on the field. They're going to have Thompson, who's a good football player. I think they're going to work the big tight end. I like Eric Green. I've said it all the way through. And if they get the ball to him, they're going to win the football game.
And what Costas is looking for, of course, is for Pittsburgh to get to the late innings with a lead and turn it over to Stan Belinda. Steelers and Broncos later from Mile High. Our NFL Live halftime activities continue.
Back at Rich Stadium in Buffalo, where the Bills have reeled off 16 unanswered points. They lead the Colts 16-6 at halftime. Dan Hicks along with Dan Hampton. It's a good thing the Bills got something going because the Colts looked very good in the early going. They had the great possession time, but the defensive play, the safety, opened the scoring for Buffalo, and that's been the key to their success all season.
Well, it really has. Their offense, as great as it is at times, their defense is what has keyed their response today. Now, you'll see Jones coming from the right side, getting the safety. Now, that is what ignited the offense and let them go ahead and get back into a mode where they could score something.
That gave him a 2-0 lead. Then they followed up with a Kenneth Davis touchdown and then a Bill Brooks 23-yard scoring pass to make it 16-6. As we take a look at the Coors Light Silver Bullet halftime stats, the time of possession has evened out. The first quarter was all Colts, about an 11-4 ratio, and the Bills have in turn taken control in the second quarter. Jim Kelly, just the one interception early in the game, but after that, he has been on, and Jeff George has relied more on a passing attack. As the ball blows off the tee for Dean Biasucci.
Well, yesterday, Jim Kelly said, don't worry about this team. We're just full of guys that can bounce back, and it took a little bit of a defensive effort to get the offense going, but they have really started coming back on in the second quarter.
So now Dean Biasucci will get a hold. And back deep for the Bills, Russell Copeland and Don Beebe. And this is Copeland to take it at the 10. Don Beebe has returned to the game after getting the crushing blow from Quentin Coriat late in the first half. So that is good news for Buffalo. At least he's back in the game.
Well, I think it's good news for Buffalo. I don't know how good of news that is for the Beebe family. I mean, that guy has taken 2 bad shots within 6 days of each other, and I don't know if that's a good idea for Don Beebe to be back out.
So the Bills begin from the 22. Kelly out of the shotgun and the handoff. Actually, the fake, and it's Andre Reed on the right side, and he's got some room. Knocked out of bounds by Ray Buchanan. Excellent play fake to Thomas by Kelly. And Reed is slow to get up.
A 37-yard. You can tell they got our cameraman fooled. It fooled a lot of the defensive players for the Colts. They're just great execution by Kelly, getting the ball to Reed and let him do something with it once he gets it. That's what makes him one of the most dangerous receivers in the league. That time, sticking right with him was Tony Stargill.
So one play now into Colt territory. This is Thomas. Stops in his tracks, and an excellent effort by Thomas to at least get back to the line of scrimmage. He was a frozen statue in the backfield there for a moment. Dwayne Bickett made the stop by Thomas. But Thurman Thomas once again getting up slow earlier in the game. We saw his left wrist wrapped.
Well, of the last 5 games, he's averaged over 100 yards in each contest. Now, a lot of people are saying, hey, he is taking too much of a pounding.
So that will bring up 3rd down now as the pass tipped at the line of scrimmage. Rick Venturi's depleted defensive line playing pretty well today considering all of the injuries.
Well, he's used to it. They see it every year in training camp because of March of Broda brought this offense down for Buffalo.
The Bills 2 for 6 on 3rd down conversions today. They have one here, 3rd and 9. And Kelly has a wide open Don Beebe. And Beebe has the first down all the way down to the Colt 24.
I can hear Don Beebe in the huddle. Okay, I'll go out if you promise to let me run an out pattern, not a crossing pattern. Here, Kelly getting a good look at the field. Big, 6'4", he can see over a lot of the trash in front of him. Finally picks up Beebe on the right.
16-yard gain for Don Beebe. Opening moments of the second half. Bills on top, 16-6. And the reverse to Andre Reed. Kelly trying to throw a block on the right side. The ball is jarred loose.
It is a fumble, and the Colts
Indianapolis recovers. Jason Belzer picks up the fumble. John Hand forced it. It was a jarring hit on Andre Reed on the reverse. So the Colts take over.
Take a look at it here. The double handoff coming back around. It looks like the defense has responded pretty well to it. Just a great shot right there by Big John Hand, 300-pounder, loosening the chin strap of Andre Reed and the ball.
So the Bills stop cold in their opening drive, and it's now Indianapolis with possession at the 26. And this is Rodney Culver. He's just across the 30-yard line for a gain of 4 or 5. Cornelius Bennett and Keith Gogenius stopped him. So the second turnover of the game for Buffalo. Kelly's interception, the first early, that forwarded a drive and perhaps a sure touchdown. And then now the jarring hit by John Hand and the fumble recovery has enabled the Colts another chance here.
Well, for the Colts to get back in it, they've got to stick to their knitting. What got them in position to stay in it, that's rushing the ball. 4.6 average per carry in the first half. 2nd and 5, call it from the 31. George to the air. And George complete to Jesse Hester. And Hester has a first down at the 40. 9-yard gain. Marcus Patton made the hit for Buffalo. And you see here, back to pass, getting a lot of pressure right up the gut. Looks like Cornelius got up and got a hand on it. But Hester still brought in the duck.
That was Patton applying the pressure to Jeff George, but he's able to get rid of it. First down and 10 from the 40. 11:52 left in the third quarter. Bills up 16-6. George, quick pass. Complete to Anthony Johnson, and that is good for another first down. This inside Bills territory. 14-yard gain on the quick hitter from Jeff George to Anthony Johnson, and that gives you an idea of how powerful Jeff George's arm is. That was a rocket.
Well, that is a very easy pass for a quarterback with a great arm to throw. Now that has turned into Jeff George's bread and butter. Very hard to stop for the defense. You've got a quarterback who can throw it like that.
The pitch. Johnson looking to turn the corner. And he's driven out of bounds at about the 42-yard line. Cornelius Bennett, the 4-time Pro Bowler, ran him out of bounds.
You know, one of the reasons that Buffalo has a problem stopping the run is they've got a lot of great athletes. Now, you see these guys in the elevator, they look like bodybuilders. They really don't have anybody with the Crisco body. You know, a lot of fat in the can. You got to have the stuff to run. A lot of fat in the can. The only guy that gets close is Bruce Smith. Now, he's not fat, but he's got a large posterior, and that sets him in there for the run.
Always learning new terms with Van Hampton each and every Sunday. Jeff George again complete. This is Reggie Langhorne. He's got another first down, and the Colts are in business at the 24-yard line. An impressive drive here after recovering the fumble. 19-yard gain for Langhorne.
Well, when Langhorne came down to Indy from Cleveland last year, they really felt like they had something with it. This year he's turned into their leading receiver, and what he does for the offense is he runs a lot of the nifty patterns, side adjust things that a quarterback can pick up on and connect with.
He's also got 2 straight 100-yard receiving games. First down and 10, ball at the 24. George Margin pressure just dumps it off, and it could have been one of those instances where he was outside of the tight end, and when you're outside in that area, you can get rid of the ball close or at the line of scrimmage, and you will not get called for intentional grounding.
Well, the special quarterbacks have a feel for it. He's back. He can't see Bruce Smith coming, but he just feels him. Now, I don't know if that is something that you develop over time, but, I mean, the really special ones have that. And Jim George has a lot of those qualities. It's just that he hasn't been able to polish them enough to be an exceptional quarterback in this league.
2nd down and 10. George's pass complete. Kerry Cash, 1st down yardage. Inside the 10. He's down to the 7-yard line. Marcus Patton ran him out of bounds, but an impressive drive by the Colts. This looks like their early drives in this game.
Well, they've done a great job mixing run and pass. That time, Kerry Cash, the big tight end, you know, he didn't talk to the media for a long time, and now he's talking again, says, I'm playing better, and I feel like I'm able to tell you something important. Here, look at the protection. Wolford, he said, stay passive. Don't bite on any of those inside-outside moves. Doing a good job staying between the quarterback, George, and the head honcho on the defense, Bruce Smith.
An 18-yard gain for Cash. 1st down and goal from the 7. The pitch. This is Johnson. Nowhere to go, and he stopped cold. James Williams tackles him for the loss.
Watch the Bills' defense very long. You know they've got special players in certain positions, but Williams has done an awful lot of this all year long. He always seems to be in the right place at the right time, doing a good job just bouncing outside, containing, and then making a tackle for a loss. You know, cornerbacks don't get paid to do that, but the great ones will do it and do it like that.
All right, so it's 2nd down and goal now from the 10. George looking across the middle, and he's got Langhorne. Langhorne stopped at the 5-yard line, and that will bring up 3rd down and goal from there. Darryl Talley and Keith Goganius made the stop on him.
Well, when you're making an impact on a game, the sledding gets pretty tough. Watch Smith here, coming upfield, a great inside move, and yet he has a little double team to welcome him.
There is Joe Stasiak along with Wolford working on Bruce Smith. And a critical 3rd down and goal situation here for Indianapolis. They trail it 16-6. And Jeff George will take a timeout. So we'll pick up the 3rd down and goal for Ted Marchibroda and the Colts when we come back.
Difficult decision at first, but over time it gets a lot easier to live with. Acura. Some things are worth the price.
A few weeks ago, while doing some test shots with Debbie, I noticed something. Dandruff. So I told her about Head & Shoulders. Unlike regular shampoos, Head & Shoulders help stop flakes from even forming. You see the difference? Head & Shoulders turns dandruff problems into beautiful hair.
Oh, my back hurts and I had a game this afternoon. So I'm taking Advil. More doctors recommend Advil by name to relieve backaches than any other brand. With Advil, a sore back won't keep me from swinging. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
This may seem like any other day, but it's not. Because now people will be able to talk to one another in a brand new way. That's because across the U.S. and Canada, leading cellular communications companies have joined together to create MobileLink, a new standard in cellular service. So now, whenever you need to stay in touch, MobileLink will make it as simple as a phone call. MobileLink.
Hello? I'm glad you called.
It's simply the way to communicate. To order, call 1-800-995-4000.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Acura. Some things are worth the price. By McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. By the people at Nike, who encourage you to just do it. And by Coors Light, aged ice cold for that pure taste of the Rockies. Reach for the silver bullet, the right beer now.
Dan Hicks and Dan Hampton back at Rich Stadium. The Colts with a 3rd down and goal situation at the Bills' 5-yard line. What's the play call here from Ted Marchibroda, the former Bills offensive coordinator here at Rich Stadium?
Well, it looks like the play they had called before the timeout was a quick slant. Look for George trying to time it up on the left with some kind of a crossing pattern, freeing someone up.
George looking to the end zone, skipping it in. Did he get it? Jesse Hester. Not seen an indication yet from the officials. Hester thinks he scored the touchdown.
They're getting a call from the other side. The official was blocked. They went with the trips and they tried to get a screen. George had a shot at him, just threw it in the dirt.
The pass is rolled, incomplete, 4th down.
So indeed, the officials say it touched the ground before Hester was able to cradle underneath it.
Looks like they were able to get him open. Trying to gun it in tight coverage. A lot of times you'll just throw it into the dirt a little bit when you're trying to smoke it.
Well, now a flag has been thrown at the far side of the field. Hester was livid that he was not awarded a touchdown, and there's Ted Marchibroda in the face of an official as well, so the Colts are steamed about the call.
So was Jeff George. George was down there, his hat off.
Unsportsmanlike conduct foul. The Colts came down to the 5-yard line of Indianapolis. 15-yard penalty. It will be 4th down.
That's about a 40-yard run for Ted Marchibroda down to the 5. Here's another look.
This is a great look at it here. He had him. He just threw it back too far to the inside. And it looks like he, I don't know. It looks like he trapped it one angle. That one, it looks like he caught it.
Very close.
Very, very close. I'd hate to have to live on the difference of the call.
So now instead of the touchdown, and with the penalty, it has moved Dean Biasucci's field goal attempt back to the, sort of spotted at the 27. It'll be a 37-yard attempt. So the Colts get 3 points out of it. They wanted more, as Ted Marchibroda is still arguing the call. Buffalo leads at 16-9.
Think of all this as a large block of ice. Think of this as a chip off the old block. Coors Light's aged ice cold. So when you think of ice, think of the silver bullet. The only way to chill.
Don't you wish you could be this comfortable with all your decisions? Some things are worth the price.
Finding work. It's the ultimate test students face. At ITT, we had a vision. Better teaching and facilities would lead to better students, which would lead to better jobs. And that's what led us to invest over $35 million in ITT Technical Institutes. It's nice to know our investment is working. ITT, we're adding more than just our name.
Well, Colts coach Ted Marchibroda, usually a mild-mannered coach, this just a few moments ago, arguing with Jerry Markwright, the referee, on the touchdown denied to Jesse Hester. And he was also assessed with a penalty for coming out of the coaching box. Here's another look.
There it looks like Hester had his hands underneath it. On the other view, it looks like he trapped it. Those black gloves may have been a little bit of a curse to him because the officials couldn't see his hands underneath it.
Well, despite the penalty on Coach Marchibroda, Dean Biasucci was able to connect on a 37-yard field goal to make it 16-9 Buffalo. Another flag is thrown as Nate Turner came back with a kickoff return of Biasucci. Charles Arbuckle on the stop for Indianapolis. And we'll see what the flag indicates. Holding. And it's against the Colts.
Well, Mark Groder knows that in a game like this, we
receiving team on a return, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Rather, it's on Rob Awalt. One more look at the Jesse Hester potential touchdown.
We'll see him make an adjustment, go down, slip the left hand under. It looks like he got his hand under it, and then when he cradled and fell forward, the ball touched the turf. Again, a judgment call could have went either way. Obviously, Mark Groder didn't like the way it went.
Kelly on the handoff in the backfield to Thurman Thomas, keeps his balance and chugs his way to the 24-yard line. So with the field goal, the Colts pull within a touchdown and an extra point of Buffalo with 7:52 left in the third quarter. Thomas had 70 yards rushing at halftime, seemingly on his way to a 100-yard effort for Buffalo. Second down and 6, Kelly to the air, and he's got Andre Reed for the first down. Reed tackled at the 35-yard line. Quentin Coriat and Jeff Herrod also there.
11-yard gain, first down. Kelly realizing the defensive front will have to be held by the linebackers. Linebackers having a hard time getting back into that little drop zone there. There, Herrod, who's nursing a bad ankle, couldn't get there.
Kelly's pass complete once again to Reed.
Kelly's pass complete to Andre Reed.
And Reed on the first down and 10 call picks up some yardage before he's brought down by Tony Stargell. And that'll bring up second down and 3, gain of 7. So Reed not having much of a problem hanging out of the football, wearing that soft cast on his left wrist. This is Thomas looking for room on the right side. None there. Heads back to the left and gets it close to the 45. That's where he needed to get for a first down, so he'll be close. This guy have moves or what?
And he almost got a little help from his quarterback that time. Kelly squared up on a linebacker and then at the last second thought better of it. Kelly getting a concussion last Monday night.
Now Rick Venturi's defense trying to hold the Bills third down and about a foot. And the short yardage folks in for Buffalo, Nate Turner and Kenneth Davis. And this is Nate Turner diving across for first down yardage.
A 4-yard gain. Well, Caldwell Gardner, their big fullback, is not able to go today. He's the guy that normally gets the call there. Turner playing in his place.
And picking up his first carries of this 93 season. Very limited action thus far. But with Gardner out, he's getting more opportunities. Kelly from the shotgun. And he's got his tight end, Pete Metzelaars. Eugene Daniel and Quentin Coriat on the stop. We mentioned that Keith McKellar, who has just been activated, he just was activated last week, saw limited action in the Monday night game against Pittsburgh, but he is a welcome addition back along with Metzelaars. So the combo of tight ends for Buffalo's. Don Beatty makes the reception for another first down. Eugene Daniel made the stop, and Buffalo's offense really clicking now.
Well, it is, and part of the reason is Kelly has thrown the ball to at least 6 different receivers today, and that's what you have to do. Keep defenses off balance, and you can't find a favorite guy. That's almost like a paradox. If you find a favorite guy and go to him too much, they'll take him away, and then you'll be lost. Spread it around, more successful.
Ball at the Colt 35. Kelly had to reach down to get the snap, and reaching out to bat it away was Quentin Coriat. And a flag has been thrown.
Looks like he had him hooked with the left hand while he stripped the ball with the right.
The pass intended for Keith McKellar. It looked like an impressive defensive play from Coriat. But it could be a late hit.
Well, in talking with Rick Venturi, the guy that he really thinks is his ringleader, Jeff Herrod, is really hobbled today with that ankle problem. He's obviously trying to work on that zone behind.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit, number 54, defense, 15 yards, first down.
15-yard penalty, the late hit called on Jeff Herrod. Boy, is that costly to Indianapolis. And that will move the ball all the way down to the 20-yard line.
As you can see, the ball was already stripped away. Herod took a shot.
So Buffalo first down and 10 from the 20 on the 15-yard penalty on Herod. Thurman Thomas straight ahead. Thurman Thomas still on his feet. Dragged down by half the Colts defense at about the 14.
7-yard gain.
7 yards for Thurman Thomas on the carry.
From the 13.
Well, when this Bills offense is really hitting on all cylinders, Kelly will move the ball around a lot and then augment that with these bursts by Thurman Thomas.
Thomas just 18 yards away from another 100-yard game. He's got 5 already this season. More importantly, the Bills in position to strike again. They lead at 16-9, 4:13 left in the third. Kelly looking for the end zone. Touchdown, Keith McKellar. So Keith McKellar with his first touchdown of the season. Just saw his first action on the Monday night game. He's been recovering from off-season knee surgery and comes up with a 13-yard score from Kelly.
There he is, lined up on the right side in, close and tight, and then he'll just adjust back to the middle. Kelly lays the ball in perfectly.
And now Steve Christie with a point after. That is good. So the Bills with 4:02 left in the third quarter extend their lead 23-9.
Hi, Super Dave Osborne here, getting ready to roll across the country singing the praises of these great-looking Hager wrinkle-free cotton pants. You know the ones, 100% cotton, wrinkle-free, out of the dryer, no ironing. I'll be covering more than 25,000 miles wearing these beauties. So come out and see me. I just wonder if Hager knows they're paying me by the mile. Uh-oh. Oh.
Hager wrinkle-free cottons. 100% cotton, 0% wrinkles.
They're still not wrinkled.
Yeah, everybody thinks they know Troy Aikman, huh? Yeah, well, I'll tell you about Troy Aikman. He's a cool customer. I mean, I remember this one time. He was surrounded by crazed linemen. I was the ref, and I was yelling at him, Troy, run, man, run! Ha, ha, ha! No, he stayed in that pocket through a perfect strike, and then, oh, man, Aikman took it! Like a man, man.
Difficult decision at first. But over time, it gets a lot easier to live with. Acura. Some things are worth the price.
Jim Kelly, fresh off his second touchdown pass of the day. 13 yards to Keith McKellar. Had an earlier touchdown pass, 23 yards to Bill Brooks. And Kelly with a 17 for 23 day, already 243 yards for Jim Kelly. And there's still 4 minutes left. McKellar with his first touchdown of the season, 6-year at Jacksonville State. Back deep to receive, Clarence Verdun and Rodney Culver for Indianapolis. And Verdun driven out behind the end zone as Christie's kick was a boomer.
Through the end zone.
Buffalo leads at 23-9. Back in a moment.
Don't you wish you could be this comfortable with all your decisions? Some things are worth the price.
You can see these new movies at theaters and head for McDonald's Holiday Film Festival, where you can pick up the original videos. The Addams Family or Wayne's World. just $5.99 each when you buy any large sandwich at McDonald's.
Cool.
Also available, the children's classic Charlotte's Web or Ghost. Just $5.99 each when you buy any large sandwich.
I was not aware of that.
But hurry, because they'll be gone in a snap. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
You've heard of store cards, gas cards, even car cards. Well, now, hear this. Introducing the new Shell MasterCard from Chemical Bank. Use it to make purchases, and those purchases earn free Shell gasoline. Average drivers could save 10% of their yearly gasoline cost, and there's no annual fee. The Shell MasterCard from Chemical Bank. Call 1-800-FREE-GAS.
Now the Buffalo Bills surging ahead 23-9. Buffalo, one of the smallest markets in the NFL, but that doesn't mean the Bills are well covered. Who's got a TV show? The question is, who doesn't?
Bill's Sneak Preview with Jim Kelly.
Welcome, everybody, to Bill's Scoreboard with Steve Tasker. And
now, here's Steve Christie.
Yes, no less than 7 Buffalo Bills have television shows here. But maybe the biggest shocker, Dan Hampton, is that the long snapper, Adam Linger, once had a television show here in Buffalo. A short run, though. Canceled after 1 season.
Seems like the only guest they haven't had on is Ross Perot. I mean, they got to be looking for some people to get on there.
Well, here are the Colts. They trail at 23-9. 3:57 left in the third, and they'll have it from the 20. Jeff George calling perhaps an audible, but he gives it to Anthony Johnson, and he's got 5 or 6 yards across the 25. And if you don't have a television show in Buffalo, Dan, I guess you're just not doing the job on the field. Well, Don Beebe perhaps has the most creative show. We had a chance to talk to him, but there is Linger, the only NFL player, or I should say the only long snapper in the history of the NFL to have a television show.
I think it'd have to be a reach to give him a TV deal.
Actually, Linger had a radio show. Nevertheless, any show for a long snapper is a revelation. And here's Culver. And he was looking for first down yardage, needed to get to the 30-yard line. Depending on where they spot it, I believe he will be just short.
Well, 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Trailing 9-23 behind the Bills. I think Marchibroda is doing the right thing, not abandoning the game plan of running at those guys. They're down 14 points. If you get into the trap where you think you got to throw it every time, you're at the mercy of their pass rush. I think they're doing the smart thing. Stay with that plan of running at it.
Third down and inches. George spins, gives it to Culver, and he should pick up the first down, although there was a good surge by the Bills defensively up front. We'll see where they spot it.
There was a car wreck in the backfield. Phil Hansen knifed down from the left.
Culver picks up the first down. I think the Colts, Dan, still trying to recover from what they thought was a touchdown by Jesse Hester. They did get a field goal out of it, but seems like they've been a little out of sync ever since Ted Marchibroda charged 20 yards up the sideline. George slings it, and he's got Langhorn. And Langhorn picks up about 3 yards. The clock continues to run. 1:42 left in the third. Kurt Schulz on the stop for Buffalo. It's been an excellent year for Reggie Langhorn. Last year, career best numbers for him, and this year, Langhorn is on pace to better those numbers. Came in as the leading receiver in AFC yards. And looking for his third straight 100-plus game. Second and 7. George has Anthony Johnson on the backfield. A flag flies as Johnson is able to get loose for apparent first down yardage. Henry Jones made the stop. We'll see what Jerry Markbright has to say about the flag.
Well, it came from the other side of the field. The side judge threw it. usually means defensive holding.
Holding number 24, defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
So the Colts will decline the penalty on Kurt Schultz. The strong safety called for the holding penalty. Second-year player out of East Washington. First down and 10 for Indianapolis. The ball at the 42-yard line, or the 46-yard line. Jeff George gets rid of it. Jesse Hester made the catch. But it looked to me like Bruce Smith was in the backfield maybe a little too early.
Well, it does look like they are spotting it down about the 30.
There's a flag on the play.
There you'll see Hester. George back. Smith really trying to get that jump to beat his old teammate Will Wolford. That's the second time he has been called for offsides.
So the play will stand. The 29-yard connection from George to Hester. Despite Bruce Smith's penalty, they'll decline it. And now the ball is inside the 30 at the 29. Indianapolis with another first down. They trail it 23-9. George back, has Hester down the far side, and Hester dragging a bill down to the goal line. It was Nate Odoms who was all over him, but Hester, first down and goal for Indianapolis.
On this play, seeing the safeties in the middle, knows he's got single coverage on the outside, catches Odoms sleeping. Hester makes a good adjustment.
28-yard gain for Hester, who was denied what he thought was a touchdown catch. As the closing seconds tick off to end the third quarter in Buffalo. The Bills lead at 23-9. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Tonight, Darwin is kidnapped by the regulator. Now the crew must risk their lives to save him. Sequest 8/7 Central, NBC tonight.
Cadillac Eldorado, the new generation, creating a higher standard of performance. Lease a 94 Eldorado with the acclaimed North Star system for just $499 a month for 24 months. Cadillac Eldorado with the 270 horsepower North Star V8, road sensing suspension, speed sensitive steering, traction control, anti-lock brakes, dual airbags. $499 a month, 24 months, $2,100 down at your Cadillac dealer.
Terry Bradshaw here for Dick's Clothing and Sporting Goods. Jeans, outerwear, clubs, rackets, footwear, huge. I'm on the best sports team in town, a dynasty. Dick's got that low price thing working on the best stuff in the game. This place is bigger than a football field. Hey, you can't go wrong with the best selection and guaranteed lowest prices.
Those boys from Continental Airlines have gone completely off. First, they come around here inquiring about my peanuts, claim they're going to fly people for peanuts. Now they say I can bring the missus with me for just a penny.
Purchase a Continental Peanuts fare round trip, and for a penny more each way, you can bring along a friend. It's called Add a Penny, Add a Pal.
Flying for a penny? Those boys have been spending too much time up in that thin air.
Add a penny, add a pal with Continental Peanuts fares.
Mark Maddox and Tuesday's Child, now on Channel 2 News at 6. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the NFL is prohibited.
Dan Hicks and Dan Hampton back at Rich Stadium in Buffalo. The Colts trail at 23-9, but they have a first down and goal, and it is inside the one of the Bills. George trying to sneak it across. He'll be cut short. As the first play of the fourth quarter. And that'll bring up second down and goal. This drive began at the Colts' own 20. And they've driven 79 yards, now and knocking at the door of Buffalo.
Corey has to be very concerned about the way his defense has played the last couple of weeks. Leading the league in points allowed going into Monday night. Since then, they really haven't done that good a job.
Ninth play of this drive, and George will take the sack at the 11. Guess who? Bruce Smith.
Bruce Smith, again, a short yardage defense. You want someone in the middle with some weight. That time, no one was accounting for him. The Red Sea parted, and Bruce Smith became Moses.
9.5 sacks on the season now for Bruce Smith, the all-time Bills sack leader. So now it's 3rd down and goal. The ball spotted at the 9. And Jeff George doesn't like what he sees. The play clock had gone down to 0. And that'll cost the Colts more yards. They were inside the 1. The sack pushed them back, and now a penalty.
A lot of times you underestimate the effect that a quarterback trap will have on an offense. What looked like almost a sure touchdown now becomes almost a highly probable field goal.
So the Colts 3rd down and goal from the 14. They began 1st and goal inside the 1. George feeling the pressure, gets it away, and a pass is complete to Hester, who spun his wheels for a moment at the 7, and he's brought down by Henry Jones. And that will bring up 4th down and goal. And we would presume that Dean Biasucci will come on to attempt the field goal.
Well, with 13 minutes left in the game, it's obvious Marcia Broda says, I need 2 touchdowns. I'm not going to pass up this chance.
And they'll talk it over. Indianapolis calls a timeout. 4th down and goal. We'll have the situation when we come back.
We'd like to show you our new Achieva Special Edition. Well, for starters, it's got an airbag, 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, air conditioning, automatic transmission, AM/FM stereo, power door locks. Sure, but that's where the really special part comes in. It's your money.
Use a workmate on your next job. And you'll never want to work without it. Get the workmate, only from Black & Decker.
American Express asks card members to make a difference in the fight against hunger. This is how much of a difference they've made so far. Help us raise up to $5 million. Use the American Express card to charge against hunger now till December 31st.
Random access memory. Really good. Now, once again, megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes.
At Compaq, we realized that learning about computers can be pretty intimidating. So we invented Presario, computers designed and priced to make it easier. They come loaded with all the software you need to get started right away. And they're backed by a 3-year warranty. WYSIWYG. So instead of sounding smart about computers, you can be smart about computers. The new Presario from Compaq.
Ted Marchibroda has had a moment to talk it over with his quarterback, Jeff George. 4th down and goal from the 7. As you can see, the score, a field goal at this juncture, really doesn't do the Colts any good.
No, because you still got to have at least 2 touchdowns, even with the field goal. You've got to go for the touchdown and hope you get at least one more chance to get it into the end zone after this drive.
The Colts need 7 yards, that is. 23-9, they trail it. George's pass knocked down in the end zone. Intended for Hester. Kelso knocked it away. The Bills take over on downs.
Kelso under a little bit of criticism this year for not getting the interception total that he normally does. That time making a great play on the ball. Watch here. That is the reason he is back there. He's a quarterback of the secondary, is always in position, and will make the play that if he can't make the play on the interception, he will deny the touchdown to the Colts.
You mentioned, Dan, that Kelso does not have an interception this season. He's not gone an entire season without one since becoming a starter 6 years ago. But a key play there, knocking down Jeff George's attempt to get Hester the touchdown. So the Bills here with 12:53 left, you would think would grind up some time off the clock as Thurman Thomas gets the ball for maybe one along the right side. Quentin Coriat stopped him.
Well, Marchibroda knows that his defense, as battered as it is, has got to get the ball back for his offense and good field position. That time, Quentin Coriat playing the middle linebacker position. You know, he's made an awful lot of plays today. Sideline to sideline. That's what they expected of him when they drafted him in the first round last year.
Colts had it inside the run, first and goal, and came up with nothing. Thomas again. This time we get a couple close to the 10-yard line. They'll spot it at about the 9-yard line. Jeff Harrod and Jason Belser came up to make the stop for the Colts. They were disappointed when they came into this game, Dan, losing 5 of their last 6 and losing 2 straight. And now not being able to get it done here in the final quarter here of the game that they could have been very much in had they been able to get the touchdown on their last possession.
Well, that's their problem, converting offensive production into points.
Kelly's pass intended to Thurman Thomas. We'll mention that Miami has taken a 10-6 lead over the New England Patriots. That game at Joe Robbie Stadium, and Buffalo currently tied atop the AFC East with Miami.
You know, they needed a big stand by the defense that time. John Hand, the big right end, figured in on 2 of the 3 plays.
So this is Chris Moore punting from his end zone. He's one of the NFL's best. Clarence Verdun is awaiting the punt. Not a very high one at all. Verdun comes up to the 45 to make the reception. And a nice play there by the Bills special teams player Mark Pike, who ran Verdun down. The Colts trail at 23-9. We'll be right back.
Do you dream in color? In bottomless blues and screaming yellows? In sounds that shake you to the bottom of your heart? In images clear as crystal and brilliant as ice? In faraway worlds as close as your fingertips? These are what dreams and Sony Trinitron televisions are made of. Make one come true for you. It's your life. Isn't it worth a Sony?
Nissan advertises their Altima is starting under $14,000. Yeah, but unlike the Oldsmobile Achieva Special Edition, that price doesn't include air, automatic, anti-lock brakes, AM/FM stereo, and floor mats. Things that can make an Altima finish just under 18 grand. The Achieva Special Edition with all that and more is only $13,995. Well, you could always split it with me. It's your money.
Bud Light, please.
Tonight's ladies' night, and there's a special on Bud Light.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Oh, no, it's Ted from accounting.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Starter, authentic apparel and headwear of the NFL. By Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you friends know when to say when. By the American gas industry, gas, America's best energy value. And by Oldsmobile.
Well, the Indianapolis Colts have had their opportunities. They've knocked on the edge of the end zone twice already this game, and now the Colt defense has given the Colt offense another chance. They begin this drive at the Buffalo Bill 42.
Well, this is where that offensive line will really be tested. They know they're going to have to pass. They're going to stick them.
Jeff George has passed for 200 yards on the day, looking for more and looking for Kerry Cash. Unable to connect. It was Darryl Talley who was step for step with a tight end.
They got what they wanted. They feel like Cash is a guy that can run away from an outside linebacker. Talley had him one-on-one. Cash just let the ball go through his hands.
And at the outset of the game, we were thinking that Ted Marchibroda's offense might try to grind it up, keep it on the ground. That's what they did. But now they're behind, and therefore Jeff George will be forced to go to the air for the remainder of this one. 2nd down and 10. Pressure, gets it away, and it almost could have been intercepted there by Cornelius Bennett. I don't think he knew the ball was in the air. Intended for Reggie Langhorne.
Well, that time George really trying to pull away from the rush up the middle. Hanson and Jeff Wright moving over, giving him a 4-man front, rushing the passer. Now, the offensive line, the first 5 games did a great job, allowing only 3 sacks. The last 4, 11. But still, that's way down from last year. Today, they've given up 2, and the Bills have as fine a rush as you'll see in the NFL.
The Colts will take a timeout. And to further elaborate on that point, the offensive line allowing just 14 sacks, a huge turnaround. 3rd lowest sack total in the NFL. We'll be right back.
When they told him he didn't have the size to play, he reached inside and found the power. Starter. He was from a small school in a small town, but he had the heart to make it big. Starter. Each had a dream, and when you start with a dream, where you end up is up to you. Starter. Available at Foot Locker, where it all begins.
If you care about this big, beautiful world, show me.
Don't give me another toxic antifreeze.
Give me something different.
Don't just tell me how it protects to 70 below.
And guards against rust.
Any antifreeze can do that.
Tell me it's safer for my dog, my family, the kids.
Tell me nothing protects better.
And it's biodegradable.
That's what I want to know.
That's what I want to hear.
New Sierra. It's not just antifreeze, it's safety freeze.
Ready for another Oldsmobile commercial? Obviously, you've missed a few, like our new Achieva Special Edition. Surprised? That's nothing. Wait till you see what it comes with. I don't know, but here's where you want to be. It's your money.
The Steelers, the Broncos, the NFL's top defense faces John Elway in the league's 2nd-best passing attack in a battle of playoff hopefuls. Next on NBC.
Back at Rich Stadium in Buffalo, the Buffalo Bills leading the Indianapolis Colts by a score of 23-9. There is Ted Marchibroda back in very familiar surroundings. He was the offensive coordinator for the Bills here. Won a couple of Super Bowls. Now in his 2nd year of his 2nd stint for the Indianapolis Colts, and they have an opportunity here on 3rd down and 10 to keep this drive alive. Again, Bruce Smith in the backfield for the Buffalo Bills. But maybe Will Wolford drew him off sides this time. We'll see.
False start, number 63, offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down, prior to the snap.
Well, the call on Kirk Loudermilk, the unrestricted free agent from Minnesota, another one of the big money offensive linemen for the Colts. He's got himself a 3-year, $6 million deal. Let's take a look.
Right launch there. I don't know.
So now 3rd down and 15. George from the shotgun. And George's pass knocked down at the line of scrimmage. And the Colts will have to punt it away.
Well, Smith goes around the outside. Hanson, coming from the inside, gets kind of blocked out into that passing lane and gets his hands up and deflects it. But again, Bruce Smith around the outside against his old teammate Wolford has been able to affect this game.
And the Bills defense coming up big again. They've given up the second fewest points in the NFL this season, just a 13.3 average, and the Colts only have 9 all day, just 3 field goals to account. Ron Stark angling this punt, and the Colts unable to bat it back.
Ron Stark's punt into the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10.
So the Bills will start 1st down and 10 from the 20, 47-yard punt for Ron Stark. Well, next Saturday, NBC Sports takes you south to the Louisiana Superdome. The Bayou Classic. Legendary coach Eddie Robinson leads his Grambling State Tigers against the Jaguars of Southern University. It's the Bayou Classic's 20th anniversary. More than just a game, a great event, rich in tradition and excitement, plus always the popular battle of the bands at halftime. Grambling and Southern next Saturday at 2 Eastern Time, right here on NBC.
In the last series by Buffalo, they went too tight in offense, kind of crowded up. Looks like they want to go ahead and spread it out and burn the clock some.
11:05 left. The Bills sitting at a 23-9 lead. Thurman Thomas nowhere to run, and he'll be stopped for no gain. John Hand stopped him at the line of scrimmage.
I think this is where you have to let your guy, Jim Kelly, go ahead and throw the ball and run the clock out by moving the chains down the field. Now, if you go to the running game exclusively, the defense can scheme and stop that. You've got to make sure you keep them off balance. I think you got to let Kelly throw it here.
And he will. The quick drop and the quick connection to Metzelars, who breaks free for 1st down yardage. Still on his feet. And they're going to spot him out of bounds at the 39. 6'7", 250-pound Pete Metzelars. A jumbo elephant on the loose.
Well, you'll see here, Metzelars, not known to be so nifty at 6'7", just does a little Michael Jordan move and takes it to the hole. Now, you know, that's something that he has given them this year, a guy that can catch the ball in possession down and still make something go.
Kelly, the little draw to Thomas. And he'll get a few on the left side. Dwayne Bickett stopped him. And the clock continuing to run, approaching the 10-minute mark. Well, Jim Kelly came into this game really a beaten and bruised man. He was nursing a bruised throwing shoulder. That, along with a concussion suffered on Monday night, there was some question late in the week whether he'd even start. But he's also got a couple of touchdown passes as he's able to get rid of that one.
Well, as you speak, he takes another shot from Bickett, the outside linebacker, rushing the passer. And Kelly told us yesterday, it's nothing new for me to take these kind of shots. In fact, he told us a story about in high school, I got my first concussion, and there you see him bouncing off the pavement. But he told us that he really feels like these concussions aren't that kind of a thing that he has to worry about. He's a big, strong guy, and we all know that he's very, very tough.
Well, he's used to them. He's had 6 to 8 concussions he estimated in his career. He's got pressure from the left side, but he gets it away to Thurman Thomas. Thomas has the 1st down in Colt territory. He's down to the 46-yard line before Parad forced him out. But Kelly was so woozy before or after the hit he took just before the half in Pittsburgh that Marv Levy was calling for a timeout from the sidelines, and Kelly didn't even hear him. And he walked into the locker room aimlessly at halftime, and he was trying to remember his locker combination, which he didn't need because he was on the road. But you know what popped into his head? His high school locker combination.
Well, he's put some good numbers up this afternoon in the second half.
And to just expand on the high school locker combination, the reason he couldn't remember it was because he'd just taken a concussion in high school, so he couldn't remember his high school locker combination. So what? 12 years later, the high school combination pops into his mind in the NFL.
Yeah, kind of brings back Ray Milland in The Lost Weekend, doesn't it? He said he was walking around in a fog. I said, did you see Rod Serling by any chance?
They had to cut off his high school lock because he couldn't remember the combination. 12 years later, mysteriously pops into his head. Thurman Thomas on the left side. The 2nd down and 9 call. Sam Clancy made the stop, but the Bills were experts in the concussion department on Monday night. Don Beebe had a concussion. Jim Kelly also suffering the concussion. And have we missed anybody?
Well, you know that Don Beebe, he told us that, he doesn't like putting himself in position to get those concussions. Last week, he got the shot already. In this game, he's taken another one. Again, this is a very talented team, but they're taking an awful lot of shots.
3rd down and 5. The Bills trying to keep the drive alive, and he won't. Kelly will go down, sacked. In there was John Hand and Dwayne Bickett sharing on the bring down of Jim Kelly. So all of a sudden, this drive is stopped cold.
Well, on the preceding drive, Hand was a big factor in getting them stopped and getting the offense back in good field position. Here's a guy that was a very mediocre tackle, moved out the end, and now he's becoming a big factor for the Indianapolis Colts, pass rushing and playing the rug.
Just the first sack of the day for Indianapolis, and that will bring out Moore, the punter. Clarence Verdun standing back at his 12. High hanging punt by Moore. Fair catch called for, and then Verdun walks away from it. And it takes a little bit of a Bills bounce just inside the 20. So Indianapolis will have another opportunity, but they're running out of them. They trail it with 7:16 left by 14.
We'd like to show you our new Achieva Special Edition. Well, for starters, it's got an airbag, 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, air conditioning, automatic transmission, AM/FM stereo, power door locks. Sure, but that's where the really special part comes in. It's your money.
Don't you wish we could just do this to air pollution? In a way we can. If homes and industries, power plants and vehicles would just switch to natural gas. Clean, economical, natural gas. Think what we'll save.
Now the movie America fell in love with can be yours during McDonald's Holiday Film Festival. Take home the smash romantic hit Ghost for just $5.99 when you buy any large sandwich. Or treat your family to the children's classic Charlotte's Web.
Isn't it great?
Just $5.99 when you buy any large sandwich. You can see these new movies at theaters and own the originals. But hurry to McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
Monday, Will's bribing his teacher to get good grades.
Behold, my Chictionary.
One problem. Teach wants Hillary.
I was just so struck by your beauty.
Well, duh.
Then Sex and Blossom share a secret.
I'll be there for you.
And Joey hosts The Tonight Show and gets lucky.
Go out with me.
Whoa. With guest Tori Spelling, all new NBC.
Monday.
Well, the homecoming for Colts offensive guard Will Wolford, not exactly a pleasant one. His team down 23-9. As George was looking for Reggie Langhorne, but the first time in 7 seasons that Wolford has been in a different uniform here in Rich Stadium, and not only is he going up against Bruce Smith, but he told us yesterday that he knows everyone, literally every player on this Bills roster very well, and it's been an emotional return for him this week.
Well, he said it's great to be back to see the guys. It's not so great when you come back and you've got a pass pro in the 4th quarter when you're down 14 points. Now, he's done a good job because Cornelius Bennett tried to rush on him that time. Bruce Smith really didn't want to check him out.
2nd down and 10 from the Colts. George buying some time and throwing back across his body. It was complete to Sean Dawkins, the rookie out of Cal, but flags flew in. Nate Odoms made the stop on Dawkins. See what Jerry Markbright says. Could be a flag on Odoms.
Looks like
holding number 37, defense. Prior to the pass, penalty is declined, completed pass, and a 1st down.
So Sean Dawkins, who came into the game having not caught a pass in the last 2 games, makes the reception for Indianapolis and picks up the 1st down.
Well, Jeff George is really worried about that left side of the field. He has been able to get Odoms turned around, and it's gotten him frustrated while he's trying to get a hold of somebody now.
Under the 7-minute mark. Colts need a couple of scores. Jeff George will scramble and take the slide. At the 37-yard line, Darryl Talley was coming up quickly to put the hit on George.
Again at 2.
Call it a gain of 2. Second down and 8.
Well, to get back in the game, he's going to have to get him back in with his arm. He should find a way to stay in there and get it down the field.
Lofting it up down the left side. That pass intended for Hester. Nate Odoms, who was just called for the penalty, was on the coverage.
Nate Odoms on the coverage.
Pretty good coverage by Odoms. The real trick in playing those streak patterns is to get a tempo for the receiver and then look back and find the ball. Odoms really hasn't been able to get a good adjustment on the ball, but that time it was in the way enough to get the ball knocked out.
Well, the big shocker in the NFL today, the Atlanta Falcons leading in the fourth quarter over Dallas 27-7.
As Bill Belichick smiles.
George's pass complete for the first down. He needed 8 and he got more. It's complete to Langhorne.
Langhorne lined up in the slot, big and strong, 6'2", 200-plus pounds. He just gets up, bounces off the corner, and gets open. That is one of those, we need to first get open.
Ball in the midfield strike. George's pass is dropped by Langhorne. And Langhorne had some room to run had he been able to hold on. But he had Reggie turned around a little bit in Reggie's defense. Yeah.
A lot of times a quarterback late in the game, they have a clock in their head. They're thinking, I've got to hurry up, and they'll rush or toss like that and make a little mental mistake that you have to, it's later you say, why did I do that? Well, you got to stay cool.
Second down and 10. And this time Langhorne holds on. He'll be short of the first down. He'll bring up about a 3rd down and 3 situation. And Langhorne hauls in his 6th catch of the day, 7-yard gain. He's got 55 yards receiving yards, and he is trying to string together his 3rd straight 100-yard gain.
Again, great protection. Jeff George forced out of the pocket a couple of times, but for the most part, he's been able to stand up and look for somebody.
3rd down and 3.
That time, Cornelius Bennett lining up over on Wolford. That's a good sign. If you're an offensive tackle and you see the guy that you've been blocking most of the day go someplace else, you know you're doing a good job on him. Because if you weren't, you'd be right there for a second helping.
False start on number 88, offense. Prior to the snap, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So it'll be 3rd down and 8 as Kerry Cash picks up another costly penalty for the Colts.
You know, when you look at the Colts, 3-6, last year's record of 9-7 really had them very high as far as looking forward to this year. They're playing a lot tougher schedule. They've never had real good consistency at the quarterback position between George and Trudeau. In Marchant Brody, you can see right there, he feels like he hasn't really gotten any breaks today. On the 1-yard line, that results into a sack, no score, another play called, no touchdown. He knows he's a lot closer than the score.
They need 8 yards. This is Langhorne. He'll be short. That'll bring up 4th down and about 2. But getting back to Ted Marchant-Broda, he said that we are a better team now than we were early in the season. Even though Jeff George, who came into the game with a 1-3 record as the starter this year, he really feels that Jeff George is the man and that they are playing their best ball of the season. But they need a 4th down and 1 conversion here to keep this drive alive, and the Bills just may have handed it to him. That was Jeff Wright, who came across the line of scrimmage.
Encroachment foul, number 91, defense. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
One way to pick up the 1st down.
Well, that's one of the few gifts Indianapolis has been given today. Again, the call to Hester, where they called no touchdown on the catch in the end zone, and then having the ball 1st and goal inside the 1 and getting 0 points. They're a lot closer than the score would give you.
Score is 23-9. The Colts need 2 scores. They have a 1st and 10 at the Bill 36. George fires, and it is complete to Kerry Cash. And there was some juice on that spiral. Jeff George hooks up with Cash with a 20-yard gain, and the Colts have a 1st and 10 from the Bill 11.
You know, about 10 plays a game, you'll see why he was the first pick in the entire draft. Very few players ever play the game can throw it like that.
This time to the right side and looking for Hester on the coverage, James Williams.
James Williams should have had the pick. Obviously upset with himself. But one of the things Jeff George has to realize is you can pick on a cornerback all day on one side of the field, but it doesn't mean the other guy is taking a nap. That time, James Williams was in excellent position for the pick.
The numbers for Jeff George, 21 of 38, 262 yards. That one nearly picked off, but the Colts here with 2nd down and 10, 4:19 to go. In and out of the hands of Langhorne.
You know, you take those 2 goal line plays, a couple of drops by Cash and Langhorne. Again, this offense and this team is not as bad as it looks when you look at the final score. Here, he just runs a little runaway pattern against a soft zone. He's just wanting to catch that and get what he can.
3rd down and 10. You see the numbers for Langhorne.
They need to get it at least half back here.
Again.
They got it.
Bruce Smith was in an awful hurry as flags flew at the line of scrimmage. It was intended for Jesse Hester, but
almost on cue, I said they need at least half to set up a 4th and 5.
Bruce Smith.
Mr. Smith gives it to him.
Offside, number 78, defense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Bruce Smith, who really hasn't had that much success working against Wolford, way wide on that play, trying to get the jump. You can see Wolford having to really cross over to get out there. Leaves a little early.
So it was 3rd down and 10, and now it will shorten up the 3rd down conversion try for the Colts, 3rd down and 5. This final just in, the Miami Dolphins have beaten the New England Patriots 17-13, so Miami with a half-game lead at the top of the AFC East standings over the Buffalo Bills, who are trying to fend off the Indianapolis Colts. Jeff George's pass again, nearly intercepted. This time it was Henry Jones who stepped in front of the intended receiver, Reggie Langhorne.
Well, Jeff George, as well as he's thrown the ball at times, he's had a lot of luck. I think 3 interceptions by the Bills have been dropped here in the 2nd half.
Well, now Ted Marchibroda has to look for a successful 4th down play. It's 4th down and 5. The ball on the 11. The Colts are already 0 for 1 in 4th down tries today.
The main thing is stay on side.
George looking in the end zone, and this time it's picked off Nate Odoms. And he'll take it down in the end zone. And time is apparently run out on Indianapolis. Jeff George picked off by Odoms.
Very disappointing for the Indianapolis Colts on offense. They have done an awful lot of good things. They just can't do enough right things to get it in the end zone. That time going into a well-covered receiver, number 37, Nate Odoms, makes the big play.
Nate Odoms with his 7th interception of the season, the 19th on the year for the Buffalo Bills. They lead the NFL in that category, and it's just illustrates the big play defense that Buffalo has been riding all year long.
But again, it wasn't that much pressure on George. It was done by the defensive backs coverage.
And it has not been very successful at all for Indianapolis quarterbacks. Lifetime versus Buffalo. Jeff George has just thrown his 5th interception against Buffalo, compared to just 1 touchdown pass. Jack Trudeau, who has had his shots against Buffalo, has thrown 8 interceptions without a touchdown pass. Don Majkowski has even had his turn. He's thrown an interception, so 13 interceptions against 1 touchdown for Indianapolis quarterbacks
Well, he told us yesterday we need at least 28 points to win this game, and 28 would have won it. The bad thing is they haven't won here since '80. They needed a lot of good things to happen to them, and they really didn't get many at all.
Well, there it is. 14 interceptions, 1 touchdown pass among the Colt quarterbacks. Amazing graphic there, just continuing to be unsuccessful. Indianapolis is, that is, in Buffalo, and came in here not having had a non-strike win since, as you mentioned, 1980 when Burt Jones was a quarterback. It's been a long time since they've had any kind of success here. Thurman Thomas is over the 100-yard mark for the 6th time this season as he gets his 27th carry of the game. And he picks up first down yardage. They'll spot him out at the 41. Jeff Farad ran him out of bounds. So Thurman Thomas continuing to have a fine 93 season. 15 yards on that game. And look at all the 100-yard rushers that the Indianapolis Colts defense has given up. 5 out of the last 6 games, they've given up 100 yards to an opposing running back.
Well, going into the season, they thought they'd have big Steve Entman, the first pick in the draft last year, and Tony Saragusa, another big run stuffer to play this year. Those guys aren't out there today. Entman hurt weeks ago. That is the reason for the cave-in, cave-out for the run defense.
Well, this is Davis. And this was a Colt defense that gave up 458 yards last week. That was the most yards they'd given up in 42 games. No timeouts remaining for Indianapolis as we get down close to the 2-minute warning. And another one slips away for Ted Marchibroda in Buffalo, where he used to coach. We have reached the 2-minute warning.
The 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning.
Sprint is the only global phone company with local, long distance, and cellular. So whether you're calling around the world or around the corner, with Sprint, you can be there now. So whoever said the world doesn't revolve around you, obviously didn't have Sprint.
Save right now. Buy 3 Goodyear tires at the regular price, get the 4th tire free. That's right. Buy any 3 of these Goodyear tires at the regular price and get the 4th free. 4 for 3 now. Hurry, sale ends soon.
In a perfect world, they might have been friends. Not in this one.
You got no problem if I handle this?
Oh, yeah. Kevin Costner, Clint Eastwood. A Perfect World. Rated PG-13. Starts November 24th everywhere.
Anyone can see that the new GE Profile Radiant Convection range is easy to clean, but the real technological advantage is what you can't see. So we'll show it to you in a roundabout way. Introducing the first GE range that circulates hot air all around your food, roasting meats up to 30% faster, so they get done to a turn on the outside while staying tender and juicy on the inside. Why does GE offer such an ingenious way to cook? Because we know how much of life revolves around dinner.
Legendary Eddie Robinson leads his Grambling State Tigers against the Jaguars of Southern University, plus the Battle of the Bands. The Bayou Classic, next Saturday on NBC.
2-minute warning in Buffalo, and the Bills on their way to their 8th win of the season, leading Indianapolis 23-9, and that would put the Bills back into a first-place tie with the Miami Dolphins, who beat the New England Patriots today. The Dolphins able to beat the Patriots with Steve DeBerg at quarterback. This is Davis. And it brings us to our Hager wrinkle-free Cotton's super play of the game, and it was a big play defensively for Buffalo that opened up the scoring for the Bills.
Well, you'll see Jones come from the right side, but more importantly, what this did was give the offense a kickstart. It was almost like saying, hey, we've done enough. Now you need to pull your share, and they responded with 3 touchdowns. And I really feel like Jim Kelly had maybe his best day of the season, moving the ball around. And, of course, that opened up the running game for Thurman Thomas.
Was a look at Henry Jones, who made the safety on Jeff George. And this is Davis getting some opportunities late in this game. He's across midfield. I'd like to thank our stats personnel, Kerry Haller and Larry Pollock today, as well as our spotters, Michael Glug and Steve Solomon. Crack staff here at Rich Stadium today.
As always. Again, the Indianapolis Colts, as beat and battered as they were coming in there, I think they surprised themselves with the effort they put forth. They didn't make the plays when they had to. Again, the 2 touchdowns, that one, the catch in the end zone, and the other one, 1st and goal inside the 1. They didn't convert either one. That was the difference in the game.
So that should be the final play of the game. And the Buffalo Bills bounce back from a 23-0 shutout loss to Pittsburgh on Monday night. They fell behind in this one 6-0, but reeled off 16 straight unanswered points as they went into the locker room with a 16-6 lead. And Jim Kelly connected for another touchdown pass in the 3rd quarter with Keith McKellar. And the final score, 23-9, Buffalo.
I was just horrified when my daughter had cavities at her last dental visit. I said, "Doctor, what can we do?" He said, "I'll give her a fluoride treatment here, but she's got to brush twice a day the right way at home."
Because you can't have a dentist fluoride treatment every day, between visits, Crest Fluorostat treats your teeth with fluoride to continue the fight against cavities. It's a fluoride treatment for your teeth at home.
So Sally brushed with Crest, and her next visit was great. I've got to act like a mom and think like a dentist.
Crest, a fluoride treatment for your teeth at home.
The water on the left is being heated by electricity, on the right by natural gas. For the cost of heating this much water with electricity, we'd like to show you how much more you can get with gas. So why settle for the water on the left when natural gas gives you all that hot water on the right? Clean natural gas, America's best energy value.
Want a taste you can't resist? There's no bag chip you can pop like this. Chips and bags got busted pieces. Brings you down with all their greases. The Pringles can't stop. Pop, the Pringles can't stop. You got the stack, you got the bunch. For a whole lot of taste of the Pringles crunch. You got the duck-bill lizard too. Only Pringles rings taste like this to you. The Pringles can't stop. Pop, the Pringles can't stop. So can those bags of fresh whole chips. Nothing like Pringles crush your lips. Yeah, once you pop, you can't stop.
Once again, the final score from Rich Stadium, the Buffalo Bills over the Indianapolis Colts, 23-9. Up next on these NBC stations, second half of an NFL doubleheader. Most of you will see the Steelers and the Broncos. For Dan Hampton, I'm Dan Hicks saying so long from Buffalo.
The great masters defined civilization in Europe. Now we're defining it on the way there. United to Europe. Come fly the airline that's uniting the world. Come fly the friendly skies.
2 parents murdered. Could their sons have done it? Neil Patrick Harris and Roseanne's Johnny Galecki, based on a true story that'll keep you guessing to the end. A Family Torn Apart, NBC tonight.
Perkins answers an age-old question. It's the egg. 3 eggs, in fact, stuffed inside and out with incredibly delicious things. We call them limited edition omelets, like country style with sausage, chicken fajita with grilled chicken and spicy salsa, and hearty steak and potato with choice sirloin. You can get these limited edition omelets at Perkins all day, which means we'll probably be needing quite a few extra eggs.
When you're not around, do the loved ones in your life feel safe? Would they know what to do or who to call when facing danger? If you'd like to know more, watch Channel 2 News, The Issue this month. Protect yourself. It's their life, and it's 1 month on Channel 2 News that could keep you and your family safe from harm.
I was filled with so much anger for what he did to us.
Victims of crime speak out on the pain and the process of moving on. Watch The Issue Tuesday on Channel 2 News at 11. Channel 2 puts Mark Maddox.
Wow, this is unbelievable.
Together with kids on Tuesday's Child.
It's just someone who cares to take the time out and come and associate with them.
Mark Maddox of the Buffalo Bills.
They get a message out of everything. And those kids get that in their mind and they say, hey, we can believe in ourselves, because it shows that all people are just human beings.
Watch Tuesday's Child with Mark Maddox only on Channel 2 News at 6.
We're just out trying to help people in the community.
And not.
The memory of John F. Kennedy will always be etched in our minds. November 22nd, 1963. Where were you? What are your memories of that day 30 years ago? Monday, in a special edition, Channel 2 News examines the legacy of JFK and visits the places in our area that hold his memory. Thoughtful and in-depth coverage, only from the Channel 2 News team.
A Kathy Ireland first that you just have to see on the next ET.
Now, from the Channel 2 studios and live from Rich Stadium, it's Goal to Go, the post-game show. Now, here's your host, Mike DeGeorge.
Well, the Bills trailed 6-0 in the second quarter, playing sluggishly when Henry Jones to the rescue, breaking through for the safety. The Bills on the board and back in the game. They would go on to add a couple of more touchdowns to take a 16-6 lead on their way to a 23-9 win over the Indianapolis Colts. And you're looking live at Rich Stadium. In just a few moments, we'll be out there to join Ed Kilgore with the post-game locker room report. Good afternoon. Mike DeGeorge. The Buffalo Bills beat the Indianapolis Colts 23-9 out at Rich Stadium, running their record to 8-2. And guess what? Once again tied with the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins beating the New England Patriots this afternoon. Close ball game, 17-13. Let's take a look at a couple of those highlights. In Miami, of course, Don Shula back home, and with him is quarterback Steve DeBerg, the Dolphins quarterback this week. DeBerg comes in, hits Keith Jackson for 36 yards. However, they come up empty on this drive. Now things go in New England's way. Drew Bledsoe to Marv Cook. The pass is deflected. And watch this. They get the break, and New England is in business. Then Bledsoe hits Ray Crinden 40 yards to make the score 17-13. Miami, a late score there by the Patriots, but the Dolphins hang on to win it 17-13. Of course, they are tied with the Bills at 8-2. For Miami, though, a tough ball game they have coming up on Thanksgiving. They must play at Dallas. That a 4 o'clock start, and you'll see that game right here on Channel 2 coming Thanksgiving Day. Well, we'll have more on the post-game show. We'll go live out to Rich Stadium. But now, our telepoll question, we start it right now. It'll be for Sports Extra tonight. We'll give you the results. Do you think the Buffalo Sabres can make the playoffs without their captain, Pat LaFontaine, injured earlier this week? He's out for the season. If you think so, 644-9900. If you think not, 644-9905. We'll have the results tonight on Sports Extra. Back in a moment with more.
Come on and shout. Yeah.
Hi, we're from KeyBank.
Bankers, where's my pizza? I thought bankers only wore suits.
Once a year, key bankers from Maine to Alaska close early to go out and help people in the neighborhood. So we went down to this home for children to lend them a hand.
Once we got to know them, they were pretty cool.
We made a difference that day, and not just to the house.
I really feel good about what we did for those kids. Game.
Hey, you guys coming back?
Sure, if you work on your jump shot.
KeyBank really is America's neighborhood bank.
Well, the way I see it, Elantra is the most sensible family car in America. I mean, for $96.54, you get a 94 Elantra with an airbag, more room and more features than the Corolla or the Civic. And with 2 years no-cost scheduled service, nothing down, and no payments till next year, this is just too good to pass up. Okay, let's take it.
Yeah?
Honey, you've been such a big help. Thank you so much. Right now, these Hyundai dealers have factory rebates on all 94 Hyundais.
Up with the first light, the touch of your hand, making it right. You know on the inside, you're staying with it for the long run. Jenny. Got some history together, Jenny, for people like you.
Sirloin tips.
Sirloin tips? Sirloin tip sounds good. No.
I love the sirloin tips.
Oh, I love that. Sirloin
sirloin tips.
Ponderosa hears you. So right now, our delicious sirloin tips with choice of potato, grand buffet, and Sunday bar are just $5.99. Ponderosa, America's family steakhouse. Ponderosa gift certificates make great stocking stuffers, available at participating locations.
A couple of quick scores before we join Ed Kilgore at Rich Stadium. A couple of surprises. The Chicago Bears upsetting the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City 19-17, and the Falcons beat the Cowboys 27-14. Emmitt Smith injured. We'll have more on that later. Now, let's go out to Rich Stadium and join Ed Kilgore. We'll fix things back here. Eddie, take it away.
Mike, your set is falling apart, I hate to tell you. Anyway, here things didn't fall apart for the Bills as they beat the Indianapolis Colts. Let's go to the podium live now with head coach Marv Levy.
Yeah, it was the first time in several games we had the turnover on the kickoff that I referred to. I think Richard Harvey caused it. I'm not sure. Which was a huge play. Score after not being able to go anywhere and get that kind of lift. And we had some very good punt coverages against a punt returner that we had a lot of fear about. Verdun, Mark Pike made a nice play to at least keep them out where they had to move half the field if they were going to score. Special teams have struggled. These are good special teams at Indianapolis. They rank high in a lot of categories, and I think our players were very aware of that. Bruce DeHaven certainly drummed that at them during the week. Tasker got a real deep contusion on his Charlie horse, for one better, in the front muscle, quadricep muscle, and he really couldn't function at all. He can't go up a stair right now. So he's pretty sore.
The loss wouldn't have been that damaging, but what does a win do in terms of coming after the Monday night?
Well, I think a loss, I think every win is a great one, and every loss is a...
But especially on the heels of what...
Yeah, okay. I agree. This is a very important game. We got to go on the road next week. Got to go on the road most of the rest of the season. We lost a game where we were thoroughly licked a week ago. I think it's important for our team's confidence to come back and play well enough to win after that. So it means a lot right now. I felt coming in that it was a very important game for us to win.
What were they doing early that made their running game go, Coach?
Well, they were running, as you know, almost exclusively to their right, and they tend to do that. I don't think they were picking on anything over there, although Ted and the Indianapolis staff could talk about that better. Just some of our coverages, if they were able to nail down the outside man on the line of scrimmage there and bounce outside, we didn't have a lot of support. And Walt and the defensive staff, I was just on the phone tuning in, talked over other calls, which would at least give us better support on the outside if the play did bounce out. Cornelius kept trying to shut off the inside play. The play bounced outside of him.
Okay, now we're with wide receiver Billy Brooks, who I know has to have a special feeling as Marv continues his press conference. We'll have more of Marv's comments a little bit later on, but while Billy's here, we certainly want to ask you, Billy, about if this win was a little special for you. Obviously, you came here from Indianapolis, and I know a win is a win, but was this a little special?
No, I didn't treat this any different than any other game we've played, because I think once you start trying to get more and more into the game, try to find some motivation that's individual, you take away from the team aspect. And this is a team sport, and I start thinking about my individual self. That takes away from the game. So I just try to keep this in perspective, just treat it as any other game.
Did get off to a slow start today, the offense did, but then you were one of the people that made a big play. You had a 32-yard play, your biggest of the year, nice catch and run. I think we have a look at it right here. Maybe you can tell us.
Well, right here, I just run a little hook route, and I felt the guy on my outside, and this was trying to go upfield. And right there, just trying to get as much yards as I can, hold on to the ball, and just try to get some good field position.
I know that's the one thing that's a real key, is to hang on to the football, because I think everybody knows wide receivers, that tends to be where the turnovers come.
Exactly, especially when you run down a ball like that, and from behind, they try to get you from behind, and they try to strip you, like you're going to try to strip me right there, Belzer, and then also just hold on to the ball and get as much as you can.
You also had a touchdown, and that was a good corner route, perfect pass from Jim, and we're going to take a look at that one here.
Yes, basically, to be honest with you, I'm giving Don Beebe and Jim this credit because Don Beebe suggested to Jim to run that play, and Jim threw the ball on the outside because I was looking over my inside shoulder, and Jim threw it to the outside exactly where it had to be, so I give Don Beebe and Jim that credit, so they deserve that touchdown, not me.
That's amazing. I didn't know one wide receiver would ever actually suggest you throw it to the other one. That's a first.
Well, he just suggested the play, you know, as far as what formation we run out of. It depends on what Jim wants to call, and Jim checked the sideline. They said sure, and then Jim ran it, and just thanks Jim and thanks Beebe and thank God for that.
It didn't seem that there was any panic setting in over on the Bills sidelines. You got off to that very, very sluggish first quarter, but everybody seemed to hang together and pick it up.
Yes, the guys hung together. See, this is a veteran team, and that's one thing that's great. The guys stick together, hang together. They know what they have to do to get the job done, and no one's really getting all upset or getting anxious about things, but we just knew we had some things to do, and we had to go out there and do it.
All right. Good luck at Kansas City.
Thank you very much.
All right, Billy Brooks, who had a big afternoon for the Bills. We go back now to Mike DeGeorge.
Ed, thanks very much. And, of course, Billy Brooks has now caught a pass against every team in the NFL. Let's take you out to Denver, where the Steelers and Broncos are playing. We have an early score in that ball game. The Broncos strike first from 47 yards out. The kick is good. And right now, Denver leading Pittsburgh. Of course, the Steelers beating the Bills on Monday night, but right now the Broncos lead it 3-0 in the first quarter. Of course, our telepoll question, as we said at the start of the show, can the Sabres make it to the playoffs without Pat LaFontaine? There you see the phone numbers. Yes, 644-9900. No, 644-9905. We will have the results tonight on Sports Extra. More in a moment.
Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on now.
I wish it were darker so you couldn't see my skin. Pitch black would be nice.
Relax. You wash every time, every day with Noxzema.
You really look great.
Thanks. For healthy-looking skin, your face belongs to Noxzema.
This is my Katie. I remember that morning. She slept through the night and woke up dry for the first time in ages. It must have been her new Pampers Ultra Dry Thins. I never thought a diaper this thin could help stop leaks and keep her this dry right through the night. But these new Pampers do. They're nearly 50% thinner, with a unique ultra dry layer that turns white as it dries. So they work like no Pampers ever to help stop leaks. And that means Katie stays drier. That was a very special morning for Katie and me that turned into a very special memory.
Try new Pampers Ultra Dry Thins for girls.
Pampers for dry and happy babies.
With 20 improvements, the new 1994 Lexus ES now has a lot more in common with the Lexus LS. Like dual airbags, a multi-adjustable passenger seat, aluminum engine technology, and an electronically controlled transmission with intelligence. And you'll find that even the pricing reflects some of our best thinking. At Northtown Lexus.
Evidently, Continental Airlines, new peanut spares are attracting quite a lot of business because they keep needing more and more peanuts. So I decided to retire Old Hildy here and invest in some more modern equipment.
Continental Airlines' new Peanuts fares. Super low fares to 11 cities. Absolutely no restrictions. All fully refundable all the time.
Hello, Spectrum Genie speaking. Santa, what's shaking, my jolly jelly belly friend? Falling behind on your holiday gifts? Happy to help you out, old buddy. I'll grant your wishes faster than you can name a tiny reindeer.
You get anything you wish from Spectrum Rents and have it in plenty of time for the holidays.
Gee, maybe I should call myself Genie Claus. Ho, ho, ho!
Put a little Spectrum in your home.
Okay, let's run down the NFL scores for you this afternoon. As we had told you, Miami beating the New England Patriots 17-13. Miami now 8-2. Steve DeBerg's first game in a Dolphin uniform, played fairly well. The Jets, another win. They beat the hapless Cincinnati Bengals 17-12. upset here. The Bears score a late TD to beat the Chiefs in Kansas City, 19-17 in the fourth quarter. The Browns struggling again, losing to the Oilers, 27-17. Green Bay, the Packers beating the Lions, 26-17 in Green Bay. Atlanta, here's the big shocker of the day, 27-14. The Falcons win this game. Cowboys running back Emmitt Smith injured in the second quarter, right leg injury, taken out of the game, x-rays, don't know how serious. A couple of other scores for you. Let's take a look at them. Denver leading Pittsburgh 3-0 in the first quarter. The Steelers, though, are driving. Coming up at the 6 o'clock, Channel 2 News at 6, and to join us with a preview, here's Steve Brown. Steve?
Mike, here are some of the stories we're working on for Channel 2 News at 6. With Thanksgiving just a couple of days away, the cupboards were bare at many area food pantries, but has luck changed for the needy? We'll take a look. And will American Airlines remain grounded? We'll have the latest from a press conference with the chairman of the board. And what can you do if you paid for carpet from this company but haven't received your shag? That's all coming up on Channel 2 News at 6. Back to you, Mike.
Thanks, Steve. As we told you, the Steelers were driving. They got inside the 10, but fumbled the football. The Broncos have recovered. And as we said, Denver leading that football game 3-0 early in the first quarter. Now let's go back out to Rich Stadium. And Ed Kilgore, and Ed, we've got the furniture all fixed.
Well, no, I'm glad to see that, Mike, because that's important. You have to look good. Anyway, one guy who looked good this afternoon for the Buffalo Bills is number 84. Now, we haven't seen number 84 out there for quite a while. That's tight end Keith McKellar. Keith, I know, first of all, it had to be good just to get out there and see some action.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It felt like when I was a young kid on Christmas Day. I mean, it felt, I tried not to smile too much. I was so happy. I mean, let's face it, it's been a long struggle for me this season, and I was glad to get back in there today.
Keith, I know a year ago you came back, and you might have come back too soon. At least that's what you told us. Now, do you feel like this time everything is pretty well, at least it appeared to us that you looked ready to go and ready to contribute?
Yeah, I think, you know, the coaching staff and the organization as a whole did a good job at, you know, bringing me along slow and making sure I don't get back out there too soon. And I think the time has come, and, you know, hopefully today is what's going to happen the rest of the season.
All right, you got on the board, got the touchdown. Let's take a look here. We have a shot of it. Tell us the play.
Well, it was really a run, and Jim called. They was confused on the defensive line because we had two tight ends. We changed up formations, and Jim called the right play, and I knew it was coming to me. And what I had to do was not get too excited, but get open.
I was going to say, when you hear that call, that has to make your ears perk up. Here you see, you got off the line well, and it looks like they let you go.
Yeah, and thank them. I thank them for it.
Keith, this was a game where the Bills got off to an extremely slow start. Was there a little bit of a hangover effect from that Pittsburgh game, or was it a case of maybe taking the Colts lightly, or what?
I don't know. You know, I haven't been there all season long, and I can only go back to maybe a couple of years ago when I was playing every game. But we look a little flat, and it takes us a little while to get warmed up. You know, I don't know what it is, but what we got to do is just keep plugging along, and eventually we'll get it right. It's not how you win, but as long as you win right now, and we're doing that.
You're certainly doing that, 8-2. Keith, thanks for joining us, and good luck in Kansas City.
All right.
And we have somebody else who had a big impact today, Nate Odoms. And Nate, I'm doing great, guy. You had your 7th interception, and this was a game where they kept you a little busier than usual. Usually teams don't come at you, but for some reason they thought they could go to Jesse Hester. They did get him a couple times, but on your behalf, I thought you won most of the battles.
Yeah, they did. They went at me a little bit. I kind of enjoyed that. I like the challenge of going out, and people are trying to see can they do it to me. And it ain't how you start, it's how you finish. At the end, I came out on the top. So it was a good game for our whole defense, our whole team.
You know, one play that in retrospect, although it actually didn't mean the game or not, but I thought the play you made on Hester, he beat you down there near the end zone, and yet you kept him out of the end zone, and it turns out you kept them off the board there. At least they got a field. Actually, they wound up with nothing on that possession because there was the big sack by Bruce Smith. But I think it goes to show you just never quit.
That's right. And Jesse is a good friend of mine. So if he would have beat me, I don't think I would have hurt the end of it. I was fortunate to get my hands on him, and then our defensive guys, Bruce in particular, made a lot of great plays for us to get us out of that tough situation.
Now, were you singled up on him most of the time? I mean, so you, in a sense, you sort of expected maybe they might come your way?
Yeah, well, anytime you're in the backside of a zone play, for the most, you man to man. So they tried to take advantage of trying to burst off and then try to catch the ball short. And then they got me a couple of times, but once again, in the clutch, I came through with a big play for the defense.
That you did. Now, early in the game, especially, the Colts were able to run the ball right at the Bills again. I know this is something that's a bit of a concern, even though you are able to keep them out of the end zone.
Yeah, well, most teams at this point in the season are going to try to run the ball and be very conservative with us. They don't want to get into the pass rushing deal with the people we have up front and our secondary playing well. So, you know, most teams you're going to find going to try to keep the legs on them and run the ball and nickel and dime us and try to just stay in the game.
All right, we have a look at that interception, Nate, and this again, your 7th pick of the year.
Yeah, well, they was running this play pretty much all day, and I was able to finally get in front of it. And right now I'm just trying to run a couple of seconds off the clock to try to get the game out of hand.
And I think maybe there was that thought deep in the back of your mind about trying to bring it out, you think?
Well, it was, but after I caught the ball, I heard a little Marv in my head saying, get down, get down. So when I got to the sideline, all my friends reconfirmed the fact that he was telling me to get down. So I wasn't thinking about just trying to run a couple of seconds off the clock.
Good move. Hey, nice game, Nate. Thanks for joining us. All right, Nate Odoms, who also has to be happy about those Wisconsin Badgers, Mike, because, of course, they're within one game now going to the Rose Bowl. Darn it. If I'd have thought of that, I'd have asked him about it. But anyway, back to you.
We're on the subject of college football. A new #1, not surprising. The AP poll is out, and Florida State, now #1. Notre Dame, with their loss, drops down to 4. Pittsburgh, Denver, we've got some updated highlights for you. As we said, the Steelers were driving in for a go-ahead touchdown, but they fumble the football right there. The Broncos come up with it, and they are driving right now out of their 40-yard line with the Broncos leading the Steelers 3-0 early in the first quarter. More coming up in a moment on Goal to Go, the post-game show.
Throw your hands up and shout. Throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and...
Obsession. Obsession.
Obsession from Calvin Klein. Your gift with any $32 Obsession for Men purchase at Kaufman's.
The doors are open to the best of '94. The best of '94. It's Toyota's first sales event of the new model year. Camry, the best car built in America. Now with a low Toyota Touch lease. Or check out a more personal-sized Camry, the all-new two-door coupe, developed and built in America. Or how about the most technologically advanced Celica ever, the all-new '94 Celica. We're keeping the doors open on this event, but not for long. You get the best Toyota.
I wish it were darker so I couldn't see my skin. Pitch black would be nice.
Relax. You wash every time, every day with Noxzema.
Really look great.
Thanks.
For healthy-looking skin, your face belongs to Noxzema.
This is my Katie. I remember that morning. She slept through the night and woke up dry for the first time in ages. It must have been her new Pampers Ultra Dry Thins. I never thought a diaper this thin could help stop leaks and keep her this dry right through the night. But these new Pampers do. They're nearly 50% thinner, with a unique Ultra Dry layer that turns white as it dries. So they work like no Pampers ever to help stop leaks. And that means Katie stays drier. That was a very special morning for Katie and me that turned into a very special memory.
Try new Pampers Ultra Dry Thins for girls.
Pampers for dry and happy babies.
When temperatures fall, Labatt Ice Beer is created. Labatt removes the ice from the beer for a uniquely rich taste and a uniquely smooth beer. Only one beer begins here. Labatt Ice Beer. If it's not Labatt, it's not ice beer.
Now let's rejoin Ed Kilgore out at the Rich Stadium. Ed?
Thank you very much, Mike. And you know, this was a special day for a lot of Bills fans who've been around for a while to remember O.J. Simpson and the Electric Company back in '73, setting that all-time NFL record for a 14-game, 2,000-yard deal. Joe DeLaMalleur, who was one of the key members of that Electric Company here, still looks like he's in playing shape. In fact, Joe, you told me you're just a couple pounds over your playing weight.
Under.
Or under?
Under. Heck yeah, I'm not going to be over.
Was this must have been fun.
It was. It was actually more fun today than it was 20 years ago. The thrill, just the memories, and you think, 20 years ago I thought it was going to happen forever. you're invincible. But then you look back at it 20 years and you see these guys and you say, man, it was a great memory. Something like Joe DiMaggio did. I don't think it'll ever be broken.
Probably not, and I know on a personal note, you have to be happy now in the Charlotte area. You're going to get some NFL football. You'll see the Bills occasionally.
Occasionally. I'm hoping to coach. I'm trying to get into college or pro, and it'd be nice to get in with the Panthers.
All right, listen, Joe, we want to congratulate you and the electric company, and we sure remember it like it was yesterday. And again, thanks for stopping. We're just about out of time. There you saw part of, by the way, we're going to have a special tonight on Sports Extra with Joe D and the electric company, all about that. Of course, they had a special presentation. Back to you, Mike.
Ed, thanks very much. That's it for the Goal to Goal, the post-game show. The Bills beat the Indianapolis Colts 23-9. Have a good day, everybody.
How can they do it?
A 94 Excel at $73.45?
With 2 years, no-cost scheduled service.
Pay $73.45, a low gas money, and that's about it.
With nothing down and no payments until next year? $73.45. It's got to be the most affordable car in America.
I'll take it.
Now, can I interest you in a 3-year-old that runs great?
Right now, your Hyundai dealer has factory rebates on all 94 Hyundais.
When you're not around, do the loved ones in your life feel safe? Would they know what to do or who to call when facing danger? If you'd like to know more, watch Channel 2 News, The Issue this month. Protect yourself. It's their life, and it's 1 month on Channel 2 News that could keep you and your family safe from harm.
I was filled with so much anger for what he did to us.
Victims of crime speak out on the pain and the process of moving on. Watch The Issue Tuesday on Channel 2 News at 11.
Start a Chase Better Banking relationship and you could get a 9.4% no-fee credit card, a 4.95% home equity line with